Welcome in. We have got an action-packed show as always. A-Day rapidly approaching. I'm kicking it off today. Kyle will be here at the 9:30 hour so we can do our joint session. A lot of excitement, guys. Let's see who's all in here today. Chance, how you doing today? Caleb, Cynthia, Paul, Hacker, Linda, happy you're in here. Daniel, glorious head of hair, terrible food takes, but an unbelievable head of hair, no doubt about that. Cynthia, Todd, Chris from New Jersey. Happy y'all are all in here on this morning. Dino, Poetic. Happy y'all are here. And what a day it is. You know how I like to do. Anytime I come on here, we are going to talk about some recruiting. And right now, Curtis, Antoine, David, y'all already know you're getting shout outs. Paul, happy you're here. Sean A. Boy, do we have a lot to talk about. Mike from Prattville. Good to see you, Mike. Happy y'all are all here. And as always, thank you for spending your morning. Thank you for spending your time here with us over on Bama Football on YouTube with Kyle Henderson. It means the world to us. Marquita, Tay, we got the whole gang in here. Rocket. So whenever we usually talk about recruiting, we'll go a wide range of recruits, right? But today we're going to focus on one name in particular. Philip, happy you're in here. Antonio, we're going to focus on one name in particular, and that's none other than Juju Lewis. Jor, I see you down there. Don't think I don't see you. I just got to be careful looking at your comments because you like to attempt to make me laugh on stream, and I gotta, you and Moonrocket, I gotta, be very careful with y'all. You're starting to figure me out, and I got to keep you on your toes, right? I just gotta keep you on your toes. That way it's fresh. Today, we're talking about Juju Lewis in particular. Five-star quarterback, was a part of the 2026 cycle, reclassified to 2025. One of the top players in all of high school football, currently committed to USC. Now, the question I have for all of the undefeated, can Alabama flip Juju Lewis? Now, take a few moments, think about that, send your answers in. Todd, my man, P, happy you're here. Caleb says Juju's definitely coming to Bama and USC recruiting is going down. Hey, listen, I'm really excited to see what happens with Juju Lewis. But Caleb, this is what I will say. Okay, Kareem, happy you're in here. Janet, always good to see you, Janet. Caleb, no doubt, very interested to see where Juju goes. Let me get this comment up here. I'm like a little goldfish sometimes, especially in the morning. But one thing I will give USC right now, they're on a heater in recruiting. Now, as with any team out there, it must maintain. And college football recruiting is much different now than when it once was. And especially the fact that you have to recruit not only the guys in high school, you got to worry about the guys in the transfer portal. You also have to recruit your own roster. That way they don't end up in the transfer portal. But what I will say is USC is doing some great work on the recruiting trail right now. They really impressed a defensive lineman such as an Elijah Griffin. They were able to flip Justice Terry, get another big flip in there. And I did a dive into this coaching staff. And listen, they made some really interesting defensive hires. Now, I want to see it on the field. If you're asking me, Ty, 5 teams you're super interested in watching, of course, Alabama is going to be one. It's always going to be one. But USC would make that list for me. Is a team I'm really interested in. And the why to that is simple. Because I want to see if this defense is finally going to start pulling their weight. Lincoln Riley has been known for great offenses, has not been known for great defenses. Now, a lot of that was Alex Grinch was his defensive coordinator. I always had questions about Grinch's defense, right? The speed defense, as he called it. Womack likes to call him his swarm defense. Alex Grinch called his speed defense. I always had questions about it. I always had questions about the application of it, and especially heading into the Big Ten. I really was questioning whether or not it would work in the Big Ten. Why? Because we saw it in the Big Ten before. He took over Ohio State's defense as a co-defensive coordinator, and it just did not work. It just did not work. So I've been very interested to see what this looks like. But if we're going through this coaching staff they had Matt Entz, North Dakota State. Ms. Gordon, happy to see you. Happy to see you in here. Ruben, my man. Tobias from Germany. Mike G. Happy all the gang is in here. Great to see everybody. Good morning. Good morning. So, this defensive staff, and we're just talking USC as a whole right now, of course, Caleb. I'm interested to see what they're able to do. I'm not saying it's going to be a top 10 defense. I don't even think it's going to be a top 35 defense. I don't. But if they can go from being a bottom tier defense to being 40th, 50th in the nation, that will be improvement. That will be improvement. You have to in the Big Ten, though. You have got to. They cannot play that same style of defense that they were playing, or lack thereof, I should say. But focusing back on Juju Lewis, can Alabama flip him? I've seen multiple yeses. I've seen multiple people saying he will be a part of this Alabama recruiting class, and I love the confidence. Poetic, I think you put it very well, where it's just about timing. Right? Like he's got to get acclimated to this staff. This staff is just getting here. Travel Panura, Kyle, Megan. Happy y'all are all in here. Mike saying 104. Let's get those likes up, guys. That really helps spread the content around. And it's very simple. I can personally attest as someone who also, as I do YouTube, but I also watch a lot of YouTube, how often we just forget to hit the like button. Even if you watch a video and you're like, oh, this is fantastic. It's very easy to get involved, get interactive, start chatting, and forget to hit that like button. But truly, those things really matter. Mike Coleman says, yes, he will. What about the Mizzou team? I'm interested in Mizzou as a whole, Mike Coleman. And the reason is simple, because Drinkwitz was one of the guys that I think if going into last season, if you were like two names to really, really watch that are on the hot seat, I think the correct answers would have been Neil Brown and Drinkwitz, right? Fast forward, Drinkwitz knocked it out the park last year. Now, they do have some interesting NIL laws on the books. We've unpacked that I'm interested to see how long they're able to sustain. But nonetheless, it certainly helped them. They got a huge win last year for the number one player in the nation, depending on which recruiting site you were on. Pretty much, universally a top 10 player, Williams Winery. But no, listen, hats off to Missouri. I'm very interested to see what they do this year. But Drinkowitz, I mean, he clutched life from the jaws of defeat. I mean, he really did. I thought he was gone. I had to eat crow on that, and I had to do it very early. One thing for those of you that have been around my channel for a while, I know Kareem, you've been around for a while on my channel, Hacker. I'm not afraid to eat crow, right? One of the things about doing this, my takes are always online. I don't take them down. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I'll use that as a learning opportunity. And I was dead wrong on Drinkwitz. Dead wrong. Dead wrong. But getting back to Juju Lewis. Can Alabama flip him? My answer is yes. Now, Tobias says, according to On3, Georgia is the favorite to land Juju. I've seen some reports like that, Tobias. I've seen some reports like that, but here's what I would say. I think Alabama is in every bit as good of a position as Georgia is, if not better, simply for the fact that Kalen DeBoer is a quarterback guy. And when I look at Juju Lewis's skill set, I think that he fits this Kalen DeBoer offense really well. Now, we need to understand that the Georgia offense, they're good. And when I say they're good schematically, right? Like Monken installed an offense there that was really efficient, really able to utilize what they did. And Bobo just took it over. And it's not necessarily like a massive differentiation from the Monken offense to the Bobo offense. So Georgia's offense has been pretty darn good. But when I'm looking at Juju Lewis, I think that the offense that will maximize his skill set is what Bama brings to the table. Now, Kareem, you're 100% right here. Depending on our quarterback play on the season may determine that tie. Very true. Very true. Very, very true. Georgia also had a weak schedule. They did. And I won't fight that, Todd. No doubt about that. They did. I'm very interested to see how it continues. But I will say I really liked Monken as an offensive coordinator, even though he was like the enemy. Y'all know how I am. I'm so college football obsessed. Bama #1, no doubt. But I'm so college football obsessed that I watch everything. Thank the heavens above for YouTube TV that they allow me to record every single game because I got them all and I've been rewatching them. And yeah, really, I like going back and watching that Monken offense. But Bobo did some things. Even though I do like what they're bringing to the table from a schematic perspective, I think it's able to utilize a lot. I think it's able to get their offense very consistent. I think that's the word I'm looking for, is consistent. I still think that this Bama offense fits what Juju Lewis is able to do better, because I think that DeBoer and company are going to utilize his skill sets better. That's just my opinion. But I also think that that opinion it's not misplaced. When I look at what DeBoer has done with quarterbacks, it's just really fun to watch. No doubt about it. So, no doubt, Tobias, I think Georgia is a team. Georgia recruits as well as any team in the nation. I'll never take that away from them. I'll never take that away from them. I love recruiting. And, you know, Coach Smook does a phenomenal job of building relationships with these prospects. I like watching from the outside and looking at, like, okay, who are the recruiters coming into this battle? I always love when we're talking defensive linemen, because you'd have like Roach, you'd have like Bo Davis, and then walks in Larry Johnson up at Ohio State, and you're like, oh boy. I mean, these are heavyweight recruiters going at it. That's fun. That's fun for me. Love that. I love that. Kevin Lynch saying, hey, y'all, I need to ask a favor from the undefeated fam. I'm having surgery to repair my rotator cuff tomorrow afternoon. I need prayers, please, for a successful, safe surgery and full recovery. Kevin, I'll be sure to write that down. Everybody, make sure you maintain Kevin Lynch and his family in your thoughts and your prayers, that you have a successful surgery. Everything goes according to plan. Hopefully you get out of that surgery and they're like, hey, went better than expected. Can't wait for you to update us on your progress, and everything goes well, Kevin. But we will certainly keep you in our thoughts. We will keep you in our prayers. I'll certainly say something tomorrow as well about that. Let me make sure I make a note. And that goes for everybody in the undefeated. Listen, this is a family, right? This is a family. Families fight. Families disagree. But at the end of the day, we're all here for each other. We're all here for each other. We want to make sure that everybody feels the family vibe, right? That's what this is all about. Tony, I don't know if I gave you the shout out, man, but I saw your message. Happy you're in here. JG, Goofball, happy you're in here. Happy you're in here. We're getting a lot of prayers. That's what I love to see, guys. You guys really do set the standard. Deborah, thank you very much. You guys really do set the standard. That's awesome to see. Monica, happy you're in here. So, Juju Lewis and Alabama's skill set, I think, is a really interesting thing to watch. No doubt there are heavyweight recruiters going after him, and Georgia recruits as well as anybody in the nation. But I think I would ask, why not Bama? Why not Bama? Bama now has Coach Kalen DeBoer. They have Nick Sheridan, who is a former quarterback. I'm really excited to see his offense, and especially under the tutelage of Coach Kalen DeBoer. But they also have Brian Ellis. And yes, listen, Brian Ellis isn't a quarterback coach. That's not my contention here. My point here is that you have got 3 guys on staff that I think clear any quarterback developer that Alabama previously had. Not ever, but for the past few seasons, since Bill O'Brien and to Tommy Rees. No offense to Tommy Rees, you guys know. I do defend Rees a little bit in terms of like what I can defend, but Alabama's got multiple guys that have proven to be great quarterback developers on this roster. Multiple. Why not Bama? Why not Bama? Now, the other thing we need to realize is that with him, Juju Lewis, that is, being from Georgia, Alabama grants him the ability to play in a closer proximity to home. Now, maybe he's indifferent to that. You listen to some of these kids, and some of these guys are like, no, I want to stay close to home. I really want to be the guy to put on for my home university, or at the very least, be able to play in a close proximity. That way my family, they don't have to travel. And some guys are like, hey, I want to see something different. Proximity means nothing to me. So that's something we're going to have to see, as Miami just had a player plan to enter into the transfer portal. Interesting. Interesting. Miami just had a play. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, portal season is coming. Josh Pate said his piece on that. I'm going to be reaching out to Hayes Fawcett here in the next few days, being like, hey, man, whoa, how crazy is this going to be? Not Ruben Bain, Flyboy. Boy, howdy. Well, I'm sure everybody wishes, no offense to any Miami fans that may stumble upon this. When I say this, you should take this as a compliment. I'm sure everybody wishes Ruben Payne would enter the transfer portal. Unless you're a Miami fan, you would hope he'd enter into the transfer portal because that cat's different. He's different. Absolutely different. He is so good. Man, is he good. Yeah, I don't. The worst you can get is no, right? I mean, sorry to any Miami fans that heard that, but like I said, it is in a roundabout way, it is a compliment, right? So Juju Lewis is one we've got to watch. Yes, Georgia will be pushing. Yes, USC will be trying to maintain him, but Alabama has proximity. They now have quarterback coaches, and he's got teammates on this roster. Caleb Odom now at wide receiver. And I'm not saying that that's going to be the reason he flips, but imagine you are a high school quarterback, one of the most highly touted in the nation, and a former teammate of yours is at Alabama in close proximity to where you are, was a tight end, has now switched to wide receiver and is excelling. I mean, maybe that moves the needle a bit. Recruiting is like filling up a bucket with water, right? I have so many different analogies for recruiting. It's like building a house. It's like eating a good meal. It's like filling up a bucket of water. And though that one drop might not be the one that ultimately seals the deal, if you have already had a collection of drops in that bucket, maybe that one drop is what sends it over the edge. I'm not saying it is. I am just saying it's something to think about. Now, something else I wanted to talk about in relation to recruiting has less to do with Alabama, more to do just with something that I think you need to know. Thank you, Adam. I'm really interested in Caleb Odom's ability, too. I mean, goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. One thing that I think we do need to talk about in relation to recruiting before we move on to more pertinent news that it revolves around Alabama specifically is the number one prospect in 2026 is considering reclassifying to the 2025 cycle, and that's Jakeem Stewart. This came out yesterday per On3, specifically, and to quote, 2026 number one prospects, Jakeem Stewart tells at the Dukes the Scoop, Philip Dukes with On3. If you don't follow him, go ahead and give him a follow, doing a fantastic job over there. Once again, and I quote, 2026 number one prospect Jakeem Stewart tells at Dukes the Scoop he's considering reclassifying to the 2025 cycle. LSU, Miami, and USC are among the programs pushing hard for his pledge. So, something to think about. Number one player in the class of 2026, if he is to reclassify, he'll still be a 5-star. And he is a guy that Alabama just had on campus maybe a month ago. I say just, time flies. Something to think about. Very talented prospect. What are they going to be able to do? If we get another quarterback, which one or two do we lose a quarterback? I don't know, Mike. I'm of the mindset I never, and this is just me, and I just wanted to be, I don't like kind of saying, oh, I think this guy will be on portal watch. I might say, oh, well, there's a position group. But I don't know. I don't like saying that a name will be on portal watch. You know what I mean? I just think that it creates uneasiness, for lack of a better word. He'll pick LSU, Smooth says. Yeah, I mean, listen, he's from Louisiana, and now they have Bo Davis over there, and we know what Bo Davis does, right? We know what Bo Davis does. So, and then interestingly enough, we just got done talking about USC, and I know there are going to be people roll their eyes, deservedly so. Hear me out before you chuck tomatoes at me. Hear me out. Coach Henney over there at USC is going to be really interesting to see what he's able to do in recruiting. More poignantly, it's going to be interesting to see what they're able to do on the field. Because if they start doing things on the field and you're like, oh, this defense is turning around, it's going to be interesting to see how the recruits stick, how the recruits view them. But Coach Henney comes to USC, helping coach that defensive front. He was just at the Los Angeles Rams. Aaron Donald was just on USC's campus talking up Coach Henney. So interesting to watch, no doubt about it. Thank you, Mike. Chris says, I hope Ty stays balling out. Listen, no doubt about it. The fact that we're hearing that all the quarterbacks are making strides in their development, that's music to my ears. That's music to my ears. I have made it no secret that I believe Jalen Milroe will win the job, but at the same time, everything is earned, nothing is given. And the fact that all of these quarterbacks are developing, that's awesome. I constantly say I think Jalen Milroe will develop a lot because he hasn't had a quarterback coach the likes of a DeBoer, a Sheridan, or a Brian Ellis, who, yes, he isn't a quarterback coach, no doubt about it. The only reason I ever throw his name into the hat is because how great he was at Western Kentucky with Bailey Zappi. But that being said, Chris, that same argument that I say for Jalen Milroe, it applies across the board. It applies to Ty Simpson. It applies to Dylan Lonergan, right? They have not had this level of quarterback developer. And the only reason you didn't hear me say Austin Mack is because he came with DeBoer, right? So he has been working with him. Now, I did want to hit this comment up here. I apologize for taking a while. I had a comment asking about Jaron Hamilton and any news on him. So whenever we talk about Jaron Hamilton, he's been turning heads, right? We know that there are guys such as Prentice, such as Law, such as Jeremy Bernard, that they're going to be impossible to keep off the field. Jalen Hale, once he gets healthy, going to be impossible to keep off the field. But Jaron Hamilton's been turning heads. He's got a lot of ability. Cole Adams has been turning heads. He's got a lot of ability. I can't find that comment anywhere, but I did have a comment about it. If you were the one that, here we go, WDM. Ty, a former 5-star wide receiver at Bama, I never hear mentioned as Jaron Hamilton. Any info on him? He's progressing very nicely. He has got a lot of ability. And yeah, I'm very excited for this wide receiver room as a whole. WDM, no doubt about it. And yeah, Coach and I were just talking about him yesterday, and I have no doubt Coach went into greater detail as he has the insight on that. Nothing better than tying flies and listening to Ty bring us the latest. Oh, appreciate that, Mike. Appreciate that. Honestly, Ty, I'm not worried about who leaves. If they don't want to play for Bama, then let them go. I'm worried about 100%, Jeff. I think this is always a great perspective to have, right? No doubt about it. Because the transfer portal giveth, the transfer portal taketh, and no team out there is exempt from the reaches of the transfer portal. There's not one team out there that's exempt from the reaches of the transfer portal. So as we have these waning moments, what are you excited to see at A-Day? It looks great in the new system, no doubt, and all the quarterbacks are developing, and that's awesome. I don't know what that is, Moonrock. I didn't want to ask too many questions. You know what I mean? Just to one-up Auburn, I actually am interested in who's going to get that deal, whether or not they will switch. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be very interesting. I hope Ty stays. I think he will stay. The fact that he didn't leave the first window, I think he will stay, no doubt. And competition, is great. Pressure creates diamonds. It can burst pipes, but it also creates diamonds. Yeah, very true, Chris. They haven't had talent like this. Very true. So I want to see, you're curious to see how big the crowd is. That's a good one. I can't wait to see the quarterback room shine on A-Day. Very good one. For me, I'm really interested in, one, the defensive front versus the offensive line. Because I think Alabama's got a lot of talent along this defensive front. But I need to see this offensive line finally be the offensive line we know it can be. Now, that being said, you're waiting for a Caden Proctor to get on campus to be able to start practicing with the team, to be able to start pushing. To try and start pushing for playing time. Remember, he's got to re-win his job. David Mills says, I bet Ty's phone is blowing up with folks trying to lure him away. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, tampering, while it's illegal, it's kind of legal. And I'll unpack that very quickly. If David, you and I went to similar camps, right? Let's say we went to a 7-on-7 camp together or whatever it may be. We went to a 7-on-7 camp together, whatever it may be. If you go to UCLA and I go to Bama, I always give the example of UCLA and Bama, and I don't know why. If you're not playing at UCLA, or let's say you just had a really good season and you're a wide receiver, and I hit you up and I say, "Hey, man, loved seeing you ball out this past year. Uh, man, I would have loved the opportunity to play college football with you. And listen, we just had a wide receiver go to the NFL, and he's projected a first, second round pick. You would put up huge numbers in this offense. Really wish we'd get to play together." I can plant the seeds of, hey, come over here. We have an opening. And as long as they don't prove that it comes at the direction of a coach or an administrator, it's very difficult to police that. And that's what we're currently experiencing in college football. It's happening across the board. I went to the gas station, gas like 439 G's. Oh boy, I don't know what it is here, but I don't think it's that. Roberts likely won't play. Whether he, yeah, that sucks. But at the same time, I think, and I said this yesterday, I think Alabama's going to have a top guard tandem in the nation, top 3, top 5, whatever you put them. And so I'd much rather him get healthy. And I also think it is conducive to success to start developing guys behind him. A Casey Poe, a Rock Montgomery, right? Like there's several different names. I think it's very interesting. And I think that the guys behind him will also benefit from opportunities to develop going up against the one. Remember, pressure creates diamonds. It also bursts pipes, but in the right settings, it creates diamonds. And Alabama, I believe, to be one of the correct settings. What makes folks believe that some coach won't approach a kid at their camps? Let's be totally 100%. 100%. I mean, it's the wild, wild west out here right now, ladies and gentlemen. It truly is. One of the things that I'm blessed to do is be able to talk with several different content creators, with several different people that cover several different teams. And so when I start hearing the same things from people who don't speak, that's when I know things. The other thing is you get a lot from the people who cover the teams. You get more from the trainers, people who independently work with these guys. So during the summer period where these guys will go and work out, I have a few of these trainers I speak to that I'm close with. And what I hear from them, mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. And it is the wild, wild west out here, ladies and gentlemen. It is. What Josh Pate said, it's not far off from what I have understood. Kevin Lynch saying, thumbs up, undefeated. Hit the like button, y'all. We have 168 watching us and only 75 likes. Let's get up to 150 likes, ladies and gentlemen. I heard Blaze will be freed from wherever I sent him if we get to those 150 likes. So we have people talking about the quarterback play. We have people talking about they just want to see how many people are there. What else are y'all looking forward to in A-Day? I think one thing that you have to be excited about is seeing how these young guys are developing, seeing how they're getting acclimated to their environment, right? And this isn't just relegated to freshmen. I mean, guys that may be in year 2, now they have a year in the system. And one thing I always like to talk about is in year 2, you can now start taking some of the things the coaches have told you, some of the lessons you've been given and saying, I now see how that applies. It's one thing to be a true freshman and you've never played a college football game yet, and you're getting all these lessons thrown at you and you're like, okay, well, it's all well and good. After you have that first season, after you've had some game action, then you can sit back and say, oh, got it. I now see the point of this drill. I get it. Very exciting stuff. And especially to hear some of these second-year guys who are really starting to show out. That's awesome. I want to see the running backs and tight ends. Great answer, Kareem. One thing I've said, and Kareem, you'll know this, you've been around my channel for a very long time. One thing I've always maintained, if you have a new quarterback, which Alabama doesn't have, if Jalen Milroe's the guy, if you have a new offensive coordinator, technically they do. He's not new to offensive coordinating, but a new offensive coordinator. the offensive coordinator and quarterback's best friends, great running back play, great tight end play. You give them both of those, you can really make up for some holes in an offense. It's interesting you say that, Kareem, because I have a friend who played for Gary Patterson at TCU. He was a safety over there. And I was talking to him about the tight end position. And he was telling me tight ends right now, or at least when he played, this would have been from 2013 to 2017. So it's been a while. It's been 7 years. That's ridiculous to think about. That doesn't seem real. Regardless, he was telling me, he's like, hey, man, wide receivers are talented. No doubt about it. They're tough. But tight ends can be a whole problem. As the man, the myth, the legend comes in here. Now, I can only see the upper half of your body because you got that. What is that? Blue camo on?
Yeah, it says blue camo. So I got this when I went down to the beach. So it's like that super, super light fabric. I love kind of like hoodies that are light that I like to rock with. What's good, Undefeated? I see you guys inside the comment box. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for watching Ty this morning. And getting ready to rock with my segment. Yeah, so it's like a camo kind of light top, I guess. So and I'm rocking like I got some new like hair, I guess you could call it like pomade or gel or something like that. So a lot of things going on over here.
Yeah, you're looking like a brand new man. I saw you out there at 4 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, so I got the workout in, and man, it was tough. So the guy who led the workout was literally he lives right across the street from me. And we all get these nicknames based on what we've done in life, whatever. My name is Motown, which is, I have no like connection to Motown. I love Motown, but like that's the name I came up with. My partner, he's a professor at the university. My neighbor he's a professor and he's a chemistry professor. So they nicknamed him Heisenberg, right? From from Breaking Bad. Yeah. So he came with it this morning. I'm dead. So today.
See,
so
my nickname would be Sits on Butt. Because that's what I'm always here.
Did Smook tell you guys in the Undefeated that his nickname was he got nicknamed Trucked, and I'll let him tell you why. But yeah, so you say your name, your age, and then your so you'd be like Kyle Henderson, 40, Motown, and Cowboy. So my son got named Cowboy. So I took Caden, and he got named Cowboy because he likes the 49ers. So
okay, that's a dig. Got it. Yeah. Got it.
That's it's like Cowboys are like, that's the most masculine name you can get. So we'll try to name you sometime, Cowboy. Maybe like, I don't know. I mean, because like when I think about you, it's kind of like lawyer, Texas, steers, I don't know.
Content, wild, right?
I mean, the other day I turned on the show and you had like a wig on. What was that? What happened?
That wasn't me. See, what happened was I thought my dog was in the backyard barking, and I went out there. That's Blaze, by the way. Blaze hit me overhead with the pan.
Yeah.
Shut the door behind him, locked it, ran in here, and took over the show. I can't be. Listen, you're my boss. I cannot be held liable for anything Blaze did. That's a totally separate individual, right? I apologize. It was unfortunate, but Blaze, I sent him off to a military boot camp to get some act right, and it's not going well. In fact, I think he's radicalized the boot camp, and that they attempted a revolution, French style. So we'll see. We'll see what happens when he gets back.
Moon Rocker, what's up? He's asking about the cinder blocks. Yeah, we got this. We did the cinder blocks today. And it came with it. Like the cinder blocks are heavier than you think. Like if you see a cinder block out there, I don't advise picking it up, but working out with one is something different. Hey, Auntie Janet, I'm gonna get back to you. I got your email yesterday, so thank you so much, man. Or thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for supporting us on Bama Football on YouTube. And I think within the next couple of days, I'll probably I'm meeting with Coach Smook today, so we do have practice today at 3:25. And what happens today for practice is we get to watch probably about 30 minutes of practice today. Now, With that said, this will be our third opportunity to watch the practice. But they have the quarterbacks literally on the furthest side. We haven't. It's been really difficult to see the wide receivers. You have like inside linebackers close by. You have defensive backs close by. Defensive linemen are kind of hitting the bag, and it's kind of it is what it is. So we'll see what we can get. I'll take the big camera over there. It takes us a little bit of time to like update the footage and kind of bring it over, but we'll do our best to bring all that stuff over today.
100%. And what an exciting time. Practice is right before A-Day. Kyle, I was asking everybody in the Undefeated, and certainly as we have our little 30 minutes to talk right here, I want to ask you some things as well, as we've been doing the past few times. What are you most excited to see from A-Day?
I think overall, I want to see kind of the excitement level for this new coaching staff from the jump, right? So I think because Coach Saban, what he was able to do is I don't think it'll ever be replicated at any other, program across the country ever. So when you come in with Coach Kalen DeBoer, and he's done a really good job, I want to see how much excitement there is behind him. And I want to see the attendance at A-Day, over the last couple of years and whatever, when you live by the beach, you don't always go to the water. That's just kind of how it works out for whatever reason. But, the last couple of years with Coach Saban, there wasn't like this big turnout for A-Day, like you were kind of accustomed to. Could have been from one thing or another. I don't know, but it seemed I could kind of tell, people are accustomed to greatness. It happens, whatever. I mean, think about this. The game last year wasn't even on ESPN. It was on like SEC Plus, so I guess it was on one of the affiliates, but it wasn't like you could just turn on the TV and watch. This year, I think there's a lot of excitement, and I think if you're out there and you haven't been able to come to a game, or you're regionally close or whatever, like come check out A-Day and come support the new coaches and the new coaching staff and the players, of course. And I think you'll have a great time in the city of Tuscaloosa. So I'm looking forward to seeing kind of the turnout and the excitement of a new football coach coming here, because there you go, Bama fan. Thank you. I was just going to ask that. That's why you guys are called the Undefeated. Bama fan 95 says Saban's first was 92. Got to have 100. Yeah. So that's what I remember. I wasn't here at that point in time, but I heard that was this crazy amount of people for Coach Saban. So I'd really like to see that for Coach Kellen DeBoer. I think he deserves it. And I think, give him that Southern welcome that, he deserves. I'm also looking forward to seeing, and I know they're not going to show, too much at A-Day, but I think I would like to see some explosive plays. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I want to see, I'd like to see a Caleb Odom go up in the end zone and catch a touchdown. I would like to see Kendrick Law do something that, you get excited about. I would like to see Justice Haynes rip off a 30 to, 80-yard run. I don't know. And I want to see some explosive plays. I want to understand kind of the helmet communication and how that works, and just kind of get a taste of that. On the defensive side, I'm looking at the edge rushers. I'm looking at the secondary. So yeah, I mean, there's so much to go into with A-Day, but I think that just kind of the level of excitement and the support for Coach Kalen DeBoer, I think he definitely deserves it, and I can't wait to see kind of the turnout on Saturday.
I'll tell you what, something I'm really excited about. And it's nothing that will happen on Saturday. It's Overreaction Monday, right?
Ooh,
Like when we get back here, the overreactions, and this will go both ways, ladies and gentlemen. You'll have someone who does very well during A-Day, and we'll have people saying, unquestioned starter, right? Unquestioned. It's spring, right? And we need to remember that. But progress is always great. On the flip side, this is what I'm really interested in, Kyle, because we always live between a rock and a hard place. What I mean when I say that is if the offense has a great day on Saturday, people are going to be saying, well, the defense stinks. Yep. But if the offense struggles, everybody will be like, oh, the defense is great. The offense stinks. Mm-hmm. I can't wait for the Overreaction Monday and those conversations. I'm always really moved by that sort of stuff to kind of wade through the details. What do you think the overreaction will be from the spring game?
Well, I mean, think about so you bring up a really great point. So that Monday is April 15th. Guess what that is?
Oh. And by the way, I'm in between. Well, I'm not going to tell all of everybody. Just be here. I've got something planned.
So April 15th is tax day. So there's nobody. You thought the eclipse was important? Try dealing with the IRS, right? The IRS is above the eclipse. Who saw the eclipse yesterday? By the way, Ty, you were in Texas? Did you go out? Did you have a totality experience?
So in Denton, we didn't have total. Now, it was enough to where the street lights came on. Kyle, I was editing some videos. I sat outside, had me a nice cigar, and watched the eclipse. It was a great time.
T's up in the house. T was ho.
Good morning, Undefeated. Good morning.
Good morning.
Did you know a lot of people got married on during totality?
I was wondering. I bet that. I assume that would probably happen.
Huh?
Yeah. It's the eclipses, 11/11.
They didn't. So over here, we didn't have totality.
No, I didn't even notice. Like, I don't think I would have noticed it if we didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, so we went. So during that point in time, we went to we were looking for some hanging plants, and we went out to this nursery here in Cottondale. Have you been to Browns? If you're around this area, out in Cottondale, and we went out there, and the eclipse was taking place. Like literally, it was like 1:42 p.m. And this old man was out there, and he was looking right at like the thing. And the boss lady, like maybe his wife, I don't know, maybe Miss Brown, she was like, Harold, don't do that. And he was like, he was like, I'm old enough to do this. Anyways, I've been seeing like some totality, and it looked pretty cool. Like it looks really amazing. There's one social media post going around that it was George like I couldn't care less. I think it was a little bit overrated if you're here, but have you seen the one of the airplane? Someone was on the airplane and they posted a picture of it. Cool. Did you see that, Ty?
Yeah.
That was cool. Yeah. So whatever. But what'll be bigger than the eclipse and, up there with tax day is a transfer portal opens up on April 15th. So here you are coming off of A Day. You're seeing where all these, and this is going to be very interesting because look, these players listen to these shows. These players listen to social media. These players played in the game. These players might not have played in the game. Whatever it is, these like the fallout and kind of the overreaction on Monday, I think there's going to be, a lot of shakeup. And I'm not just saying for Alabama. I think there's going to be players who definitely hit the portal from Alabama. I have no idea who. I don't even know how many players will do it. We've had it over under on this before. I think we came to a conclusion that there'll be like maybe 5.
I think it was 6.
Right?
Was the
okay, whatever. Yeah. But the transfer portal works both ways, right? So I'm kind of curious to see not only the overreaction. The overreaction on the quarterbacks is going to be crazy. No matter what happens, it's going to be a long time because it already feels like people, and it's amazing that every time we talk about quarterbacks, like even yesterday, Ty, we talked about quarterbacks on the video. That video, got a lot of traction because of, Ty and Jalen. And people, want to have this quarterback. It's almost like you have to walk on eggshells talking about these quarterbacks now. So I can't even imagine another round of this and then going up on Monday. And, usually in games like this, it'll be like Dylan Lonergan, who's like the MVP. Can you imagine if that happens?
Oh, boy. Yeah. No, that'd be wild. That would be insane.
Because a couple years ago, it was Mac Jones.
Yeah, right.
It was Mac Jones, and then it was Jerry Jeudy, Mac Jones. Can we get a list of past A-Day MVPs?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that's what I'm looking. I mean, yeah, you're right. The overreaction, but in terms of the Monday, the transfer portal. I mean, Ty, do you think like 5 players leave from Alabama? I mean, I think
that's a safe bet. I think that's a safe bet. I was asked earlier about some players, and I'll give you maybe a room that I'm like, hey, this room's got a lot of talent. I could easily see some universities reaching out or people reaching out and trying to lure them away. I don't like giving names. You know what I mean? I just feel like that creates a weird dichotomy.
We have no idea. That's why it's the most interesting thing to cover is because you could talk about recruits visiting all day long and everybody's great experience in Tuscaloosa. You have no idea who's even thinking about entering the portal. We don't.
I have this A-Day MVP list if you want to know.
Yeah. Who was
So 2021 was Bryce Young.
Okay.
2019, John Mechie. And then 2018, I guess, no, 2020, 2018, Mac Jones, 2017, Jerry Jeudy, 2016, Damian Harris, 2015, Robert Foster, 2014, TJ Yeldon, and 2013, TJ Yeldon.
Wow, TJ went back to back, huh?
Yeah. Yeldon was so much fun to watch, man. Gosh, he was a fun running back to watch play.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. 2015, it looks like there were two, Darius Stewart as well.
Yeah, Darius Stewart, wide receiver. Yeah, he was he did his thing here. Yeah, I guess there was no A-Day during COVID.
No.
Man, doesn't COVID feel like,
because that was right? Yeah, I mean that was right during lockdown, right? Like right when lockdown started.
Was that 4 years ago already?
Yeah. And unfortunately, I was in San Francisco a week before the lockdown happened, and I was walking around Chinese New Year in San Francisco, and it was for moot court. It was our senior year, right? All of the seniors got to go to a tournament out there. We got to tour Alcatraz. We got to see the federal district court out there. It was awesome. Man, we got home and every single one of us were so deathly ill and no one knew why. And then all of a sudden the country shut down and we were like, oh, that's probably why. Yeah.
I was in Pigeon Forge, and I was chilling in Pigeon Forge, and then, all hell broke loose. T, where were you?
So for the first one, I was in Florence, Alabama. My grandmother was actually passing away like right before them, but it was nice because we were able to have a funeral right before it locked down.
Oh yeah,
so that was, I'm thankful for that. But then the second lockdown, I was in Peru, and had to drive across the country, which it's a pretty big country. Super, super quick and get out of there before they completely shut down. But it's crazy there. They literally took a chain and locked the front doors of the hotel room every single night at 6:00 because that's how strict they were. You had like 1 hour a day where you could get out and walk around.
Wow. The going back to like when all this started, it was like the Zooms and all that. That's when things came to, because so during the springtime, I'll never forget it. That's when we had our first Zoom with the players, and the first player to do a Zoom interview for Alabama was Najee Harris. So I remember they sent out like the Zoom link, and we logged on, and Najee Harris pops on the screen, and so does like the SID. And you should have seen how disorganized it was. Nobody had any idea. Like he was in Josh Maxson's office, and there was like I don't know. It was crazy times. What I do know about where we stand right now is that, and it kind of like spurs off Najee comments, like this running back room. Ty, let's talk about this real quick, because you have so much talent. And I asked Coach Sheridan recently about that running back room. He was so excited about that talent that he has here. I think sometimes, and I continue to say this, like, this isn't an offense that is just going to just throw the ball for 4,000 yards and forget about the running backs. I think, it's interesting. There's a recruit that's interested in coming to potentially Alabama. His name is Bo Jackson. But if you're a running back, you're still looking at Alabama because they're going to feed these running backs. I don't know if there's going to be, how they're going to distribute carries between Justice Haynes, Jam Miller, Richard Young, whatever the case is. But this running back room, I think we can all agree that it's just ultra talented. You could arguably say it might be the most talented unit on the team.
Yeah, listen, whenever you talk about, like, I don't know the word I'm looking for, right? But for usage in terms of like, okay, well, typically you only have one running back on the field unless you're running a 2 running back set. That is so talent rich, right? For only having one guy on the field at a time, most of the time. You have Haynes, you have Miller, Young, Daniel Hill, Kevin Riley coming in the summer. Do not forget about Kevin Riley, ladies and gentlemen. That guy is so well rounded. It's really going to be something to see. But Kyle, that's exactly why yesterday, whenever you asked me like A-Day MVP of offense, I was like, I got to go with the running back. And to your point, I get a lot of people saying, oh, this offense is just going to throw the ball around. And they are. But you look at how Kalen DeBoer and this offense operated before they got Dylan Johnson, and then look at how they operated after they got Dylan Johnson.
Yeah.
Dylan Johnson had 100 more carries than the leading rusher did the previous year. Meaning, if you give him a running back that he's like, oh yeah, this guy can do it. He's going to use that running back. And remember, Dylan Johnson would have had a much bigger year had he not been so banged up. I mean, he was on one leg in the playoff game against Texas. I really wanted to see what a healthy Dylan Johnson in those playoffs would have done, because for those of you that watched that Washington offense, when he was healthy, man, were they hard to defend. They were real hard to defend.
Yeah, and I think when you look to A-Day, and kind of getting back to what you were saying about, what could happen on that overreaction Monday when the transfer portal opens up, Byron is saying, don't be surprised if there's some tampering going on in the running back room. You know what? I would 1,000,000% agree that is going to happen, because let's just say, theoretically, at any position that a player doesn't, let's say he doesn't get 10 carries or 12 carries in A-Day, because the glorified practice, there could be other schools out there being like, hey, you're going to come in and get fed a lot more over here at X, Y, and Z and get this NIL deal, right? We do not know what is going to happen during that point in time. That's why if I'm a player right now and I'm about to play in the spring game, I'm not judging, my role on where my performance lies within the spring game. I'm really not. I want to really give this coaching staff an opportunity to utilize myself in the maximum capacity that they can this season. You start to understand August, September, like, be patient. There's nothing wrong with being patient and waiting to see when your name is called. And that's going to be really challenging for a lot of prospects, not only at Alabama, but everywhere else, because I think the tampering does exist because of the rules and the lack of parameters that exist. I think that the NIL deals are going to be out there. They're going to be, how could you not turn down this amount of cash to go pay for play right now? I'm curious to see what happens. I think it's going to happen at every school, not only at Alabama, it's going to happen everywhere. But if you're a prospect out there, like, don't, whatever happens on A-Day, that's not the finality of your playing time here at Alabama. Just be patient, because this is still the biggest brand in college football, 100%.
Now, last question I have for you, Kyle, and I think this is going to be a great discussion, not only for us, but for everybody in the undefeated. Yesterday, you and I talked about offensive MVP. I think it's only right today we flipped the script. Defensive MVP, who do you got? I got mine in my head.
Okay, so defensive MVP, sometimes, I want to say off the jump, because he's a hot name that we've been talking about, like Keon Sabb. Then I kind of look to a veteran like Malachi Moore, somebody like that. But then I start thinking about maybe some lesser known players. A player we talked about yesterday, like maybe like a Quay Russo, who could like really jump off. Shane is saying Red Morgan. He's been another hot name, but it's usually a guy that is able to maybe get a interception, like a scooper score. Ruben is saying Deontay Lawson. How about a Jahar Campbell? I don't know who the defensive MVP will be. I think I'm trying to think like defensive lineman who could even win the award. I would love, who I would love to see win the award. It would be cool to see. This is what would be really cool. It would be cool to see Emmanuel Henderson win the award for MVP on offense. And then Tim Keenan or Kobe Prentice. How about Kobe Prentice? I think if we're doing odds, like Kobe Prentice has really high odds to win ADA MVP, right? So it would be cool if either Kobe Prentice or Emmanuel Henderson won ADA MVP and Tim Keenan on the defensive side of the ball. That would mean your offensive MVP and your defensive MVP were both from the state of Alabama. And I love the fact that these guys from Alabama play here at the University of Alabama. Like the high school football here is much better than people think. And the prospects here, that's why I love the fact that Coach Kalen DeBoer was able to land Ryan Williams from the jump. I like the fact that he was able to add Derek Smith. I like the fact that he was able to get Antonio Coleman to flip from Auburn to Alabama. These in-state guys, Saban built a lot of his rosters. You can go through it right now with guys from right here in the state of Alabama, 1,000,000%.
See, I think mine, and we have got a ton of great answers in the undefeated. We have Keanu Coate. We have Agent Zero. We have Campbell. Yes. We have Red Morgan. I mean, and D1 Royal Bama agrees. He says Bernard and Kobe Prentice are really going to show out. I think I'm going to go Sapp. And the reason is because of where he plays. he's going to be all over the field. He's going to be flying around. He's going to be making plays. And I'm really interested to see how he fits into this defense. So maybe that's more of just like an excitement thing as opposed to, I think that he will be the MVP. Malachi Moore was also very hard not to give that answer to, because Malachi Moore, I just think in this defense, he is a super savvy guy, first and foremost, super high football IQ, and he is a really talented player. So I don't think there's any shortage of correct answers on defense, but I'm going to go Keon Sabb because I'm very excited to see him in Crimson making plays.
You know what? Jor brings up James Burnip. No one has asked. I don't think anybody has asked Coach Kalen DeBoer about James Burnip, right? He said that was an open competition for kicker, which is pretty cool. Yeah, because you have Connor Talty. Oh, I forgot about Talty. But you also have Tucker Cornelius out of Northridge High School. Mm-hmm. But James Burnip, nobody's talking about him. And nobody ever talks about the punter. But having a weapon like that coming back that can flip the field, man, that's huge. D1 Royal Bama, what's up? From what I hear, Connor Talty is out there making everything. That's great to hear. Imagine trying to replace Will Reichard. That's like trying to replace Nick Saban, right? There's replacing Nick Saban, and then there's replacing Miss Terry, then there's replacing Will Reichard. Like, that's tough to do. So good to hear that on Connor Talty. You don't hear a lot, within the kickers, but I know that Tucker Cornelius, I saw him physically play because the same high school as my son here at Northridge. So does a really good job. Kevin asked a question right here. Ty, why don't you go read it out?
Kevin asks, Ty or Kyle, or Kyle or Ty? That's dyslexia for you. Do either of you know how many spots KD is looking to fill during his portal window? I don't have a number. To be honest, off the top of my head, I don't even know what the roster number is looking like right now in terms of how many spots they have available. But they're going to look to fill up, and if they lose 3, if they lose 4, they will do however many spots we have available plus 3, plus 4 would be my guess. Kyle, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know where they officially sit. I think Mike Rodak had a really good breakdown on 247 Bama, where he listed, the exact roster numbers where Alabama was right now. There's no solidified number because you don't know. There could be some guys who are just on scholarship another way besides being like a football player. This has happened in the past a couple different times. So you could get it close. I think there's somewhere around 83 right now. I want to say Byron saying 84. Yeah, I think someone said, look, Todd is hearing 79. So there's never, think about this. Sleep easy on this. There's never been a point in time where you've ever gone into the season and been above the numbers or below. It'll work out. But what you want to know is how many players can they take, or how many players. And the other thing that makes it challenging is we don't know what's going to happen on April 15th. We don't know.
Can you imagine if the eclipse would have happened April 15th?
Oh, that would have been so amazing. How many players would have hit the transfer portal on totality?
Yikes.
That would have been cool.
That would have been something.
Did you see and then the social media? I need to talk about some of these other clips that I saw. Somebody did some incredible mind. There's been all these people have been doing totality with the the shadow covering, right? And someone did it with it was the Auburn, it was the 4th and 31. So as it came through the eclipse, it was Isaiah Bond catching a pass.
You mean Jalen Milroe catching the ball he threw to himself?
Right. Yeah,
we'll never see a play like that again.
There was so many funny people are so amazing, right? The shit that they come up with is crazy. Always makes me laugh. Yeah, so I don't know. We didn't really see much of the eclipse yesterday, but I don't know. We move on. When's the next eclipse? 7 years?
Yeah, I guess.
I saw something about a total one in 2045.
Did anyone travel to go see the eclipse? I know people traveled.
Somebody in Lacey's class did.
Yeah, my daughter's class. They drove to
Texas, right?
Or was it Arkansas?
I don't know why I want to say Texas.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. When D1 Royal Bama, what's up? When will Ryan Williams arrive? Well, the last practice that I was at, which was I guess on Thursday, which was at the campus, I saw him walking around, but he doesn't actually enroll into the summertime. So totality in next 22 years, Wow, that's
I
crazy.
was right. I thought it was like 2045, which I guess 22 years would be 2046. So, I'm
Dang.
bad at math. Give me that. I'm one
I'll
off.
be 62 talking about totality, right? Ty, how old will you be, Ty?
I will be, oh boy, I'll be 52.
52. Wow. I can't imagine Ty at 52. I can imagine me at 62, but I can't imagine Ty at 52. I'm looking
I
forward to
can't
that.
imagine me at 35, right? We've made it further than I ever thought we would. Because growing up, I wanted to be a bull rider, right? Like that was always the thing. I wanted to be a bull rider, and the bull riders we knew talked my parents out of allowing me to do that. So hey, everything here is up.
David Mills is saying August 12th, 2045. Wow. So we know the exact day when it's come. Huh. Okay. I guess I'll still be doing Bama football on YouTube at 62.
Yeah.
You think, I mean, Kalen DeBoer?
Will he be here?
Yeah, of course.
He will have won his
Saban's back.
20th national championship.
Coach Saban, AI will be coaching.
21. No, seriously, how old would Saban be? In what is it? 45 years?
No,
it's
22
22
years.
Oh, it was 2045.
So if he's 72 now.
Yeah. So 90. What?
Oh yeah, he'll coach again.
Yeah.
94. Yeah, he'll be out there in his little scooter thing that he did the 360 in.
Yes.
Hey, my grandmother up in upstate New York, 95 years old, and would be out there on her little Gator. We put custom rims on it for her. I mean, I'm not joking. We gave her big custom rims. She had a golf cart, like on it looked like a golf cart you'd find in Houston, and little old Irish woman.
Who said that YouTube? Oh, Caleb saying YouTube won't be around. Yeah, I agree. You know what it'll be? That I've predicted this for a long time. I think all those people that cover the team, everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
It will be Bama Earth, and that will be the site. Everybody will work under one umbrella, and it'll just be Bama Earth. You just type in Bama Earth football news,
all right,
and everybody just loads into one portal.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, I'm serious. That's what it'll be. Just wait, and they'll be. I mean, Saban will be coaching AI, right?
His consciousness has just been uploaded
into the cloud.
Ty, you got anything else, man? Before you run?
Let you get on to some calls. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been great as always. I will see you tomorrow, and we will start unpacking some potential overreactions tomorrow. So think about that. Bring me your overreactions tomorrow. We're going to have a lot of fun. Kyle, as always, great getting to talk to you. T in the background. Undefeated. You guys rock. Thank you for everything. And as always, roll Tide.
All right. That's Ty Hayes from Around the Table Sports. We appreciate you guys right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Yesterday we had Eclipse, and we have Coach Smook. I think he showed up early, so we'll bring him on when he rolls through. I wanted to hit on a couple points today. And first of all, special thanks to our sponsors, Residents in Ocean City, Maryland. Guests can book at their website. LPR is the promo code for 20% off. Rogue Shop. The promo code is BAMA. You guys know what to do, right? Rub it on your back, legal CBD and more. And sponsor like you, Demetrius Maynard. We also have another sponsor. Who is it? Morris Sharp, T?
Yeah, Morris Sharp donated for his wife. Yes.
Yeah, so Morris Sharp, he's a viewer like you. And he was like, hey, I want to just sponsor you guys. So he sent in $100 check. I think he's 84 years old.
74, I think.
No, it was in the 80s.
Really?
Yeah, but the crazy thing is he's from Clovis, New Mexico. And he said his wife is a really big fan of the show. And so he sent in like a donation.
And his wife's name is Linda, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to Linda.
All right, Miss Linda, if you're watching. I don't know if Clovis got totality, but Clovis does have Allsup's burritos. So if you're from that area, the T has no idea what I'm talking about. But Allsup's is like a little convenience store. And the thing about New Mexico is every convenience store has like burritos of some sort. But Allsup's burritos is like a specific little, gas station that has these little breakfast burritos. Some people call them gut grenades, whatever the case is. But does anybody know what Allsup's is? And they also have
What's it called? All subs.
Allsups. Yeah, Allsups burritos. Oh, that's so sad. You have no idea. If someone's gonna know,
We tried to go to the 5 and 9, but it was closed that day, right? Like the place with the Frito pies.
Oh yeah.
Or
Well,
the Frito pie.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways. Okay, point number 1, Coach Oates is staying. Look, I'm not surprised to hear that Coach Oates is staying at Alabama. Smook, bring you on in like 2 minutes, man. Okay, cool. All right. And I say this because of the fact that with Coach Cal going to Arkansas, Kentucky's open. Kentucky is obviously going to attract, many different eyeballs, many different top coaches from around the country. But I think with what Coach Oates has going here, and I was thinking about this yesterday, would it even be a step up from Alabama? I don't think so. I honestly think that it would be lateral. And with NIL and where Alabama basketball is right now, Alabama is really at the forefront of college basketball. If they get, I don't know, this new arena or whatever, I don't know if we're going to be waiting on that like Linus and the Great, pumpkin patch or whatever. I don't think it really, it's going to be great when it happens, and it will happen. But for the same point, I think that Nate Oates has such an amazing thing going on here. I don't know if Grant Nelson is going to come back. I don't know if Mark Sears is going to come back. I don't know who they're going to pull from the transfer portal, but what he has going on here at Alabama is unbelievable. And David is saying on the report, Kentucky will contact Dan Hurley, Billy Donovan, and Scott Drew. Yeah, all great lists. Dan Hurley, who wouldn't want him? I'm not sure if he's going to leave UConn, considering what he has going on at UConn, back-to-back national titles, first team to do it since Florida in 2006. But what Coach Nate Oates has is really amazing. For Greg Byrne just looks better and better every single time that Nate Oates wins. Credit to him for being able to do the research to find an up-and-coming coach and who's not even really at the peak of his coaching career. Think about what I just said. He's not there yet. I think that he is going to look back on this season and look back on last season and think that he could probably have, 2 Final Four runs. Like last year's team, right, was incredible. But it didn't have the cohesiveness, and they didn't peak, and they peaked too early, plus all the off the court stuff, right? This year's team found a way to play like a team, and they had scores to do it, but the up-tempo offense and what Nate Oates was able to do took them as far as they could go. Now, they lacked a big man. Now, now let me hear from you inside the comment box. I'm going to talk about a variety of things before we bring on Coach Smook here at 10:30, but do you feel that, and if you want to call in, T, we can change that bumper. The call line is 205-850-1994 if you want to call in and talk for a few minutes. But if Alabama was to have maybe a Bediako or a bigger man, I think they probably win the national title. And I think that was a big difference. Last night in watching UConn and Purdue, those guys definitely went after it. The big man for Purdue, he had 37 points, which is crazy because Purdue, scored 60 points. But I think with Klingon from UConn, they had those big men. And I think you still need a rim protector that is athletic. Now, I did like UConn's big man more than I did like Purdue's big man. And I think he fits better in Alabama's up-tempo offense, right? Because I think the transition defense that UConn had was really the deciding factor between UConn and Alabama. UConn was able to get back on defense amazingly. And the fact that Alabama had 0 fast break points is just mind-blowing to think about. So I bet you Oates goes after a big man. And I think at first when people didn't know about Grant Nelson, they maybe thought, okay, he's 6'11", he's going to be in here, he's going to be that big man. He's not a big physical, and I'm talking like a big body, somebody who is like 295 pounds, that is, 7'2", the Kentucky guy who just went in. He might not be the exact fit, but somebody that's a monster, that is a rim protector. Nick Pringle, he's a big dude, but I don't know if he's, I don't know. I felt that at times he just didn't have the physicality needed to match up with some of those bigger bodies. Whatever the case is, Nate Oates has something amazing going on here at Alabama, and I know they're encouraging everybody to join Yay Alabama. What that does is that's able to get Alabama better NIL deals for their players, basically pay their players. I don't think it has anything to do with to pay Coach Oates. They have enough money to pay the coaches, but they still need these NILs to be able to pay the players. So that's what that meant yesterday when Greg Burnt said his statement on Twitter. Love it. What do you guys want to see from year one from Coach Kalen DeBoer besides the national championship, and what is realistic? And that's kind of my next segue to my topic. I think what is realistic for Coach Kalen DeBoer in year one is clearly a playoff run. I think a team that can play in high caliber games against SEC teams. And the first one would be Georgia. How do you play in games like Georgia? How do you play on the road against Tennessee? How do you play on the road against LSU? Those are going to be games that he's going to be judged heavily. And I think every single hiccup that he has is going to be under the microscope. Right now is a honeymoon period. I promise you. Everything is easy, right? Even after A-Day, things will be great. People will be really excited. But when that first season hits, and let's not overlook these first couple of games, specifically that one against Wisconsin that's on the road. I think that's probably going to be more challenging than people think. Now, Alabama's going to beat Wisconsin. I promise you that. But it's going to be tough, right? Going on the road, it'll be the first road game. And then you come back and you have 2 weeks to prepare for Georgia. I don't know what's going to happen in that Georgia game, but I know that Kirby Smart more than likely is going to be undefeated, and so is Alabama. Game day is going to be here. It's going to be the biggest game in all of college football. Like, that is the game that everybody – the first game of the season for Alabama football fans is Alabama versus Georgia, even though it happens back in September 28th. So when you look to what is realistic for Coach Kalen DeBoer in year one, is a national title realistic? I don't know, probably. I mean, when you look to the success that Alabama, the brand, has had over the last, whatever years under Saban, for sure. And they still have a lot of players under this Coach Saban ecosystem that can make a run. I think when you look to Alabama's schedule, winning over 10 games is realistic. I think that other side, so I kind of look at the schedule in two halves. Georgia on the road at Wisconsin on this side, and then the back end schedule includes trips to Tennessee, trips to LSU, a trip to Oklahoma, and Auburn. Those are four difficult games. So, you might drop one of those games. You might win them all. I don't know, but Alabama's going to be in position, and they have enough talent to compete with all those teams. I just think like that road game against Oklahoma and then preparing for Auburn, that's going to be tough. Preparing for Georgia, it's going to be tough. They have 2 weeks to prepare for Alabama as well. So what do you think? What is realistic for? I'm going to ask you, Undefeated. What do you think is realistic for Coach Kalen DeBoer in year one? Do you think 10 games? Let's put it at 11 games. Do you think Alabama wins 11 games this season in the first year of Coach Kalen DeBoer? I'm going to say yes. T, what do you think?
Yes.
Right? 11 games?
Yeah, I think 11 games.
Yeah. I mean, so that would put them, Shane Bean saying 10-2. I'm going to say 11 and something, maybe 12. Like they're going to win games.
Yeah. Yeah.
10-2. If they don't win 10 games, I don't know. It's hard to judge what's a failure, what's not. But think about this. How many years consecutively did Coach Saban win 11 games? I think there was one season that I covered Alabama where did they go, fam, I'm not looking at my notes here, but did they go 10-3 that year that they played in the Citrus Bowl against Michigan? I think they might have.
I think so. That sounds right.
Right?
Yeah.
But besides that, Coach Saban always had these guys winning 11 games plus. And that was crazy when Alabama just won 10 games, right? When we go to the Citrus Bowl. Going to the Citrus Bowl, for me, somebody who was covering the national championship, I don't know, like for 3 consecutive years, it was crazy. It was like step back. Yeah. Thank you. Right? Larry Large say undefeated. Steven, what's up, man? See you inside the comment box. 13-1. Jorah saying 12-0 SEC championship. And getting to the SEC championship game, my goodness. And remember, keep reminding yourself, there's no East and West. It's just the top 2 teams with the best records play for the SEC championship game, which is going to be crazy. Todd, what's up, man? But even a 9-3, I'd be happy in his first year. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Moon Rocket, what's up? 2010, we lost 3 games, and that felt crazy. All right. Bama football fan, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. 10-2 Roll Tide. Love the content. Love that sunset too. Is that an eclipse?
Yeah, that's a nice sunset.
Yeah, it looks like a.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, how about the totality over the water?
Oh, man. I bet that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about the eclipse a little bit. Right? It's kind of like.
I mean, people thought the world was ending.
They did.
Who
People thought.
Did you guys think something was going to happen?
I didn't. I just thought, like, you should have seen these permission slips that we had to sign for the kids to watch the eclipse.
Yes. You said schools were shutting down?
Yeah, like no, I don't know if school shut down, but they would like Lacey. They had her sign this like huge document about the eclipse.
Oh my gosh!
So I don't know.
Yeah, they were serious about that. They sent home like how many notes on the eclipse thing?
We never had
Like,
to sign.
They will not go outside if you do not have.
We didn't have that when we were in school.
Yeah, that's it. Cynthia. That's it. They were afraid the kids would blind themselves.
We had to go watch it, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you didn't watch it, you like
You failed.
You got like detention.
You did, yeah. It was.
We were punished for not staring at the sun.
All right. Okay. Spring risers. Let's talk about a couple players that have kind of, had their stock elevate during the springtime. I think, right off the jump, you probably look to a player like Quay Russo on the defensive side of the ball. I think he's a player that has certainly elevated his game. I look to another player like, another continued riser would be, in my opinion, on it within the secondary, I think is, the continued elevation of Devontae Smith. Don't forget that he's coming back. Like, don't forget about him. I don't know what the status is on Tony Mitchell or like where he'll be or if his hamstring or whatever, but kind of watching him. Clearly, we've talked enough about Keon Tab. He's not necessarily a riser because he came in kind of ready to go, but I'm kind of looking to players that have really kind of elevated their game on the defensive side. Fam, let me ask you this. In your websites that you read and your videos that you watch, what other names have you heard on the defensive side of the ball? It's kind of been like a defensive riser. So for me, I'm going with Quay Russo. Maybe even like a Yonze Pierre, right? Moonrocker, I know. Devontae, he's being forgotten about for sure. Everybody keeps like, don't sleep on Devontae. I'm telling you, right?
I like that guy too. He's a really nice guy.
He's a good dude for sure. 100%. Really like him. On the offensive side, a spring riser. I know he just got here, but Caleb Odom, I think he is that guy as a freshman. I think Emmanuel Henderson is having a really good springtime as well. I think that Wilcom Formby is, busting his tail to be that right tackle, which is great. How about, James Smith. Thank you. That's a really good one. Red Morgan. James Smith is a great one. Thank you, Stephen. How about James Brockemeyer?
Ooh.
James Brockemeyer, man, like he even came, talked to the media. Like, that's a really good story. I like him.
Yeah, that guy's stirring some stuff up.
You kind of knew about Kobe Prentice for sure. He's having, he's doing his thing. But I think James Brockemeyer, Emmanuel Henderson, those guys have certainly stood out. You know who's actually doing well? We haven't really talked about him, but some of these tight ends, like Danny Lewis, Robbie Oots, even Josh Cuevas. We've heard some good things about him. Kendrick Law is, he's going to be a guy. It's just been a little bit quiet in terms of like the scrimmages. Maybe on A-Day, that could be another, A-Day MVP type player to watch. Keanu Coate, for sure. You've heard his name. 1,000,000%. All right, I want to ask you in these last few minutes, and I think we did this yesterday. Chris, yeah, I love the story too, man. About MVP picks. And I want to get you guys' take on MVP. So let's kind of go over some MVPs. I said it yesterday. I want this one on record. I'm going with Justice Haynes. So will you please post right now we'll do it two times. We'll do offensive and defense. I know we talked a little bit about AD MVP with Ty, but let's put it down on record so we have receipts. Give me your A-Day offensive MVP right now, undefeated. A-Day offensive MVP. See, who are you going with? Put it like on. Yeah, let's put the receipts out.
Yeah, maybe Haynes.
Okay, I'm going with Justice Haynes too. Okay, who will be your number two?
Milrow can. I mean, it's
Yeah.
quarterback usually.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, Bryce won it. Right.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, Steven just said just Saints Milrow. Okay. Prentice, what's up, John M? I see you inside the comment box. Lisa is saying Jalen Milrow. The new staff is making players shine. I don't remember this many players with Saban. Jeremy Fleming saying Henderson. Henderson's a really good addition. Lance is saying Caleb Odom. Cynthia is saying Ty Simpson. Okay, that's a great one. Odom is going to be a good one. If we had to put odds on players, I think, you probably go with Justice Haynes would probably be, safest pick. I think Odom, is a guy who would be good value. I think Ty Simpson could be there. Milrow, of course. Emmanuel Henderson. Kobe Prentice, his odds would be high as well. All right. Okay. So it looks like we have a good mix coming in from, your MVP picks. How about this? Because there is also a defensive MVP. So who is your defensive MVP? Listed now and defeated. Your defensive MVP. So you going to go with like a Keon Sabb, a Deontay Lawson?
I kind of like Malachi.
Malachi Moore.
Yeah.
Malachi is such a good person. He's great. He kind of has, someone who really exemplifies like that leadership, those leadership qualities for like the University of Alabama, like a spokesman. Like he's 1,000,000% going to.
He's a good speaker.
Exactly. He is exactly who you take to SEC Media Days.
Yes.
I'll tell you who. I don't know this for sure, but I'm gonna tell you who I would take. Hey, how come my camera is like off? I would take the SEC Media Days. I would take Jalen Milrow. I would take Malachi Moore. I would take either Deontay Lawson. Oh, Tyler Booker. Tyler Booker is like kind of like their main guy, right? So those are your SEC media people for sure, 1,000,000%. Mike is saying Keon Keeley on the line. Yep. Yeah, I think he's going to do a really good job as well. Tyler Booker, right? Caleb, you're with me on that? Yep. I'm going with, Moon Rocket 100%. Those are your guys. Yeah. So let me go over the schedule today. It's a busy day for sure. So you have, we don't have Coach Kelly on the board today, do we? Do we have, is it offensive players?
I think it's offensive and defensive actually, but let me double check. Today's the 9th.
Kyle,
offensive and defensive.
Offensive and defensive? What?
Yep.
Let me see how that reads.
It says reads offensive and defensive players.
Huh. So does it mean we're going to get to hear from?
And then DeBoer is Thursday.
Wow. And we get to watch practice today.
Yes, practice is open today.
Wait, what is Jared saying? Kyle, when you are on the other side of the screen, it's like you're in a different room. Huh.
I think he's just like when you.
Like this?
Maybe.
Huh. No, I'm in the same seat. See? Like. I don't know. Okay, so today you got Coach Smoot coming up here at 10:30. And then practice at 3:25. We get to watch practice today. What that usually includes is, it's like 30 minutes of footage, just kind of open. We'll see what we can get. If there's anything different, we'll bring it to you. So look for that as kind of a natural upload right here on YouTube. And then following that, you get offensive and defensive coaches and players. Well, it just says players. So, we'll bring those to you as well. So look for that as another interview. And then Coach Smook and I will have a practice report from outside of the Malmore facility. So that's what to watch today right here on Bama Football on YouTube. So, and that I think that'll probably be for our evening stream, T. Right? We'll talk about that.
Yeah, I think so. Because I did have some guys scheduled, but yes, I think that would be better if you and Smoot.
Right. We'll just like post up on our stools, and then we'll keep you guys posted. Probably tomorrow we'll do a meeting today on what we're going to do for A Day and how that's all going to be situated. So if you want to come through and say what's up, to us. I'm thinking right now, and this is just kind of a rough draft because all the spots are kind of spoken for at the tailgate. So I was wondering if we can maybe set up by the Arby's, by like the band practice fields. I don't know what happens there on game day. T, do you?
I do not.
Right? I can't even remember.
The practice field? I don't know.
Yeah, so I was thinking if we start our pregame show like at 10 or 9 on A day, and we can like set up and hang out with people and kind of, do our show from the band practice field. I think it'll be easy to navigate. We could probably get electricity, Wi-Fi. Well, because we will have one show going on here. So I think Smook is eating Arby's right now. Is that Arby's, Smook? No way. Smook's eating Arby's in the back. So I don't know. If you know where the band practice field is, it's on it's right by the Mount Moore facility. If you've ever been to Tuscaloosa, right?
University?
Yeah, it's in university. So we're thinking about kind of posting up there. So we'll keep you posted. What we decide for Saturday. So that'll be Merrill is going to the coaching clinic. You know what?
He said he was.
He said he was, and then he didn't end up going. So
yeah.
But the coaching clinic, you should have seen how many coaches were. They were all over the place. Just coaches from all over. So yeah, that was good to see all the kind of the coaches roll through. But it's amazing to think that we're already in a couple days out of A day. Smook, give me a thumbs up when you're ready to roll through, man. You watch that Arby's down. Think you're losing Zion Grady? I don't know. It's pretty early. They built a pretty good class so far. I know, USC's been on an absolute tear. LSU's doing their thing. But it's early. And I think they'll be able to, get things going within the next couple months. And I think, kind of the eyeballs that Alabama will continue to get, from ESPN will only further them, into a good position to where they retain, their dominance. So don't worry about it. I mean, Ohio State's landing their players, LSU, USC. But, do you think, let me ask you this undefeated before Smook jumps on. Do you think that Alabama finishes top 4 in recruiting? Top 4 in his first year. Daniel's saying Arby's is mid.
I like Arby's.
Hey, the band practice field's on Bryant.
Oh, that's right.
What's that? Carl's Jr. Caden's here. The kids never go to school anymore. They're always off. They'll probably be off tomorrow because there's bad weather too. Smook, pop on whenever you're good to come on, man. Whit Fong just crystal balled Zion Grady to Miami. Huh. Well, we'll see what he decides. I think it's kind of a long way still. I think he'll bounce around, right? And in the final place he'll land is the biggest NIL deal that these kids get. I love that horsey sauce. Horsey sauce is the bomb.
No, I like the Arby's sauce more.
I like it. I like them both. I think I might be going to Arby's is aggressively mid.
About it.
Man, okay, let's say, can we start at a quick poll? Do we like Arby's?
Okay, yeah.
Do you like this is it. Do we like Arby's? Yes or no? That's our poll question for today. No. Dino, you can't be going to Arby's and getting the burger. You got to get just the roast beef, or what are those other sandwiches called, T?
The Market Fresh.
Yeah. The Market Fresh are good. I think we got Coach Smooth rolled up. Coach, what's up, man?
What's up, man?
Do you like Arby's?
I'm eating Hardee's, man.
Oh, Hardee's.
Yeah, I thought you said, I ain't have my headphones in.
Yeah. But
I don't really rock with Arby's.
Huh? Not even the curly fries?
I that's it. That's the only thing. That and the squares, the potato triangle, or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, that's about it. And I might, if I'm feeling good, I might get me like one of their subs, the Italian sub, whatever it's called. But I don't mess with Arby's for real.
Because what are those things that they have? They're like market fresh sandwiches too.
Yeah. Now, when I worked at Arby's back in 2009, that was my first job in college. And man, I ended up quitting, but I was almost about to get fired because I used to be back there like tearing food up, bro. I could never work fast food. Everybody in the chat know I love to eat. And I used to, like, any break I got, I would be back there making different sandwiches and stuff. So
well, you guys know, like Caden, he just started working at Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm.
He loves it. He's like the culture, he's like, I like it. And he's like, I mean, how could you not like Chick-fil-A, right? That's the spot. So, Coach, do your thing, man. I'll hit you up. So we got practice. Obviously, we got practice today. We can watch the team. So I'll probably be over there, like, I don't know, a little bit before 3. I'll hit you up after your segment, man. But do your thing. Please support Coach Smook like you guys would support me and Ty. Coach Smook, do your thing, man. And we appreciate you, man.
All right, Brody.
All right, man.
What's going on, Undefeated? How y'all feeling this morning? Let me crank this music up. Y'all know Kyle has his custom music in the background. So let me crank this thing up. Y'all know how we do, man. How y'all feeling this morning? Y'all feeling good? Cause I am. Y'all feeling good this morning? Let me fix the screen real quick. I'm way over here on the left side. Get back on the right side. The light side, which is the bright side. Y'all know what time it is. What's good, y'all? How y'all feeling this morning? Dang, my comments going crazy. D Royal Bama, what's good, family? Tim Nolan, how you feeling? Rich B in the chat. Larry Large, what's good? K-Dot or Cole? Listen, I'm going with Cole, man. Cole World, still the man, still got the juice. Nicole, what's good? How you feeling? Marquita, how you feeling? Todd, what's good? What's good, man? Poetic Injustice, I'm always eating. My lens, my lens dirty. Let me see, can I get y'all? Okay, go ahead then. Sis got me straight, Quasia. Hey. Can you see me clear? I love y'all, man. How y'all feeling, man? Oliver, how you feeling? Auntie Janet in the building. Janet Forsyth, like Sean say. Janet Forsyth. How you feeling this morning, y'all? I'm feeling good, y'all. K-Spray, how you feeling? Jawan, tell them how to do it, man. Run them likes up. All you gotta do is hit that thumb. It's free. It's free to do that part. You want this green tags, you want to become a fan funder though. You're gonna have to pay for that. You know what I'm saying? Pedro, how you feeling, my guy? Walt Albright is in the building. Adam, my resident Milrow hater, is in the building. What's up, my boy? Moon Rocker's in the building. Ruben Poole, what's good, man? My guy Caleb King, what's good? How y'all feeling? Carla, where you been at, baby? Carla, where you been at? I ain't seen your name in the chat in about 3-4 days, baby. Where you been at? What's up, Cynthia? How you feeling, baby? LaQuasia in the chat. DR334, the fam is here this morning. Kevin, how you feeling? Dino, how you feeling? Larry Large again. Man, Joseph in the chat. Joseph, I rock with you, Joe. Antonio, my guy. What's good, man? Adam, you laughing? I had jelly on my finger, y'all, and I didn't feel it till just now. Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all what your boy be eating. Y'all know I be eating, right? So Hardee's is right up the street. So if breakfast ain't already done downstairs, when I get done with my workout and stuff around 6, because that's one thing we've been doing the last few days. We've been doing breakfast for each other. So if breakfast ain't done, I go straight to Hardee's. They already know what I'm gonna get. I'm coming in there, I'm getting that super sausage biscuit combo, right? And I'm getting the extra tots, and I'm getting my coffee. They already know. They know your boy face now. So I go in there. I got a late start this morning because I already went this morning. So this was my second breakfast, y'all. Y'all think I'm playing. I'm about to be swole around this mug. I'm gonna have to say, excuse me, walking through the door. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to, excuse me, let me slide. Y'all, I done ate twice this morning. What up, Aunt? John, how y'all feeling? How y'all feeling, y'all? I'm really feeling good, y'all. This is my second meal of the day. I just want y'all to know that already. What's my favorite place to eat, Bama fan? I can't even lie. I don't have one, bro. I don't have one. I don't have one, my guy. I do not. Foresight. That's what. But Coach Sean say Forsyth. I love it, y'all. I love it, y'all. How y'all feeling today, though? Yeah, I'm getting. Hey, Moon Rocker. It ain't bulking. It's whatever I can hold on to. That's what I'm keeping. That's what the plan is. Whatever I can hold on to. That's what I'm keeping. And yes, y'all. A-Day. We are getting closer. It's like already. We only 4 days away now. We're 4 days away from A-Day. Whoa, my God. Y'all, we are 4 days away from A-Day. All the speculation, all the unbelief, all the doubt, all that stuff, it comes to a head this Saturday, right? All of the interaction, all the fan fun, all of that good stuff comes to a head this Saturday. The new era finally kicks off officially for the fans, right? This Saturday. I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited for A-Day. And we're going to jump into it right after we give our sponsors some love. Shout out to residents in Ocean City, Maryland. Shout out to RogueShop.com. And shout out to Demetrius Maynard of the Maynard Group. We appreciate you all for sponsoring the channel and doing what you do. But before we get into our segment for the day, the Smook Scoop, let's talk about this commercial. Let's jump on this commercial. Y'all already know. Go ahead and get your hashtag ready. We got to make sure we show our CEO, the owner, Kyle, some love. Go ahead.
Special thanks to our sponsor, Residents in Ocean City, Maryland. Guests can book at residenceinOC.com. Use the promo code LPR for special Bama football pricing up to 20% off. Also, go to therogueshop.com. Use the promo code Bama. You get legal CBD. For me, personally, I like the topical oil. You know how intense my workouts are, right? So I like the topical oil. I like to rub that on my back, whatever, after those cinder blocks. So go to their website, cruise down, look through their website, and definitely check out rogueshop.com. And like I said, I like the topical. Again, the promo code is BAMA. Also, think about becoming a fan funder right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Become a part of the Undefeated as low as $2.99 a month. That's 10 cents a day. How do you do this? Make sure you're logged into your account. This is on a computer. You can also do this on your phone and look for the tab that says membership. Once you click membership, you can see different options. You can see an upgrade button right there to the right if you want to go through the different levels. We have fan funder videos from the staff right here at Bama Football on YouTube. Very easy to navigate. Let us know if you have questions inside the comment box when trying to upgrade or renew your fan funder membership right here on Bama Football on YouTube. And of course, if you want to rock that undefeated gear, check out our merch store located at the bottom of the videos. We appreciate Patriot Life, Cynthia, Antoine, Caitlin, and to everybody else that supports us right here on Bama Football on YouTube.
Yes, sir. Y'all already know what time it is, man. I appreciate y'all for hanging out, man. We y'all are so funny, man. I love it. I think I give the early comment of the day award to my guy Jared, man. Jared always come through with like the coolest, like, pun intended stuff. And if you listen to what Kyle says in that commercial, y'all, for me personally, I like the topical. You heard that Bama come out of Kyle a little bit. He been down here a little too long. I like that the topical oil. I love it, y'all. I love the energy. I love how y'all support this channel. Continue to support it with your monetary value, with your support, with your likes, your shares. Everything helps, y'all. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and tweet this out. That we're live now with the Smook Scoop. Let's talk today. We got some talking points. I really want to focus on our talking points today. I want to get into the segments. And like Kyle said, we got a long day. I've been up since like 5, y'all, and I had a good workout this morning. I didn't go work out with Kyle and them. I worked out this morning. I really pushed myself. Like, man, I'm not tired. My body is, but I really pushed myself this morning. I think I did about, oh man, I don't even know how many push-ups I did, because I started my workout with 4 sets of 50. We did 4 sets of 50 with 30-second breaks in between. And then I got my 20-pound dumbbells. We did that. Did iterations of that, shoulder press, rows, curls, curl and press. We did like 3-minute iterations of that, where 30 seconds of each. We did 3 rounds of that. And then for the lower body, I did some body weight lunges, stationary lunges. I did some explosive kicks, some jump kick, high knees. I did a lot of stuff this morning. Like, I had a real good at-home workout, and it kind of helps me get my day started. I already had 1 cup of coffee earlier, and I was doing some edits. I don't know if the one that I did is going to be posted today or not, but it was kind of an excerpt from last night's episode, last night's segment when all of us were on the panel. We were messing with the Georgia fans, and then also how you all interacted with the people y'all are excited to see coming into this spring training game, this A-Day game. Let me get this link real quick so I could post this, and let's get this shared up. If y'all haven't already, go ahead and share the live, y'all. I think we gotta get our shares up. I seen them go down yesterday, and a lot of times it's not because y'all don't care. It's because we're engaged in such good conversation. Yesterday there was a lot of debate, as there always is post a scrimmage or a practice where reports come out. And it's always good. It's always good time for us, for me personally. And I appreciate you all for supporting and doing what you do. Let me get the right banner up here, because ain't no call-in segment. I wish it was. Y'all know I've been fighting to get me a call-in segment. I want to talk to y'all, especially in the off season, right? Off season, we definitely I need to have some talking, some dialogue, right? So yeah, y'all keep advocating for your boy. Let's keep the Coach Smook, the Smook Scoop call-in segment campaign going, right? For me personally, yeah, Moon Rock. Y'all silly, man. But let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Here's the truth. And I want to talk from a standpoint, and I need y'all opinions. I need y'all feels, whether it's agreeing or not. Here's the truth, and this is what I've been able to pick up. And I don't know if y'all have paid attention to how Coach Smook moved when it comes to reporting this. How much I weigh? I weigh like 178 right now. I got on the scale the other day. I was 175. I had got back up to 175. I'm trying to get back up to 190. So yeah, I'm on the grind. I'm on a mission. But listen, so the truth is, there's a lot of things going on at the University of Alabama. We've went through probably the greatest transition you've seen in a program, from having to lose Coach Saban to retirement, and then bringing in Kalen DeBoer, a very highly touted and highly sought after, proven college coach, who's won everywhere that he's been. He's come in, he's taken the position by the horns, and he's really he's really pushing himself and implementing himself as the head coach, as the face of the organization, which is awesome to me. To come in behind Coach Saban and have that type of confidence, just how you move and handle business. He displayed it with his coaching hires, was very aggressive in guys that he went after. And then you transition to recruiting. One thing I want to say about recruiting, man, this is very early. So a lot of the commits, yes, we're excited, but things can change. It's all about maintaining relationships. And when you talk about that in itself, maintaining relationships, every recruit that I have the privilege of being in contact with and having conversations with, which I've talked with 7 this morning who will be here this weekend. The likes of Zaire Addison, Duke Johnson, Zamir Smith, was able to talk to all 3 of them a little bit briefly this morning. And, the relationships are strong. These coaches aren't just bringing them on visits and then not talking to them. They're checking in with them. And so I'm trying to do my part as a Bama fan, but also as a content creator, as a outlet, to maintain those solid relationships. So when and if they continue to stay committed to Bama, this is a platform that they feel safe on, and that gives you all a different level of access that most platforms aren't providing. Yeah, the double breakfast is needed. Hey, please don't start talking about food. I want to stay focused for my 30-45 minutes that I'm here. I really do, man. Rich, don't do it to me. Moon Rocker, I'm slim right now, but ain't nobody in here slamming me. I promise you that. I still get under the bench after not lifting weights for a while and throw up 255 like it's nothing. Like, Come on, dog. Don't play with me. 5'10", 190. Yeah, y'all boys solid. Y'all boys solid. I've been going through life, man. Life been happening, and now I'm catching back up. You know what I'm saying? I'm picking it back up. But back to the truth, man. The truth is, and I think people know where I'm going with this. The truth about this whole depth chart situation is, I think this staff came into this with an open mind, right? And when you're a new staff and you're coming in and you have guys from the previous team or under the previous staff's tutelage from a previous staff, unless something bad was happening, right? Unless something horrible or detrimental, say for instance, like Colorado, Coach Prime in Colorado, you saw what he did. He went in there. I think they lost all 80 something scholarship players, right? In a matter of days. You know, he basically told them losers have no place on his roster. And if you want to be a winner, you can stay, but it's going to be some guys. He making room for some guys that's coming in to try to win. And you see, they went from winning. I think they won 2 games the year before. Oh no, they were winless the year before, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, y'all fact check me. But you go back and you look at how, you know, he tried to rebuild the roster and how the turnover was. You know, it was a lack of depth. You got some talented guys that were looking for an opportunity to start, but you didn't get a lot of quality depth. And that showed late in games against experienced teams, established teams that have that continuity, that have that depth, right? And it didn't pan out well. Well, Kalen DeBoer is coming into a situation where he's not dealing with a rebuild of a roster. Yes, he lost some guys to the portal, but you also secured the number 2 class in this recruiting class while you still maintained majority of your nucleus from the previous year, which was a playoff team. And so you get into certain positions, and I'm not going to start with the hot hitter, with the quarterback position. Let's talk about who the leaders are. Let's slide into who the leaders are. And this is the truth. This is the truth. This is who the leaders are on the team. People that are stepping up. Let's talk about who the leaders are. First, in the coaching staff, you got all your coaches who are proven leaders, whether that's from a coordinator position, play calling, or head coach, or some type of managerial staff position, right? All of your coaches on both sides have either been there or have acted in those roles for an extensive amount of time. So you have a great collective group of leaders who understand game management, who understand personnel management, and who have a dynamics of personalities to relate to all of your locker room. This isn't just a hard-nosed staff. This isn't just a happy-go-lucky staff. I believe you have some coaches on the staff who are your player coaches, right? Then you have some coaches on the staff who don't play around with the players, you know, and it's a good balance. So you can have, you know, you can find that happy medium of each player. And then you slide into the players, man. You got guys. Let's talk about the defensive side. On the defensive side, Malachi Moore, Devontae Smith, those guys are your natural leaders in that secondary. But you got new guys like Damani Jackson and Keon Sabb stepping up, you know, being examples, being leaders with their experience in the college game. Maybe not in the SEC, but being a college player matters when you have had snaps, in-game snaps. You've gone through in-game situations, right? You look at the linebacker room, you got, I mean, veterans everywhere, but leaders. You're talking about Deontay Lawson. He's been a leader since he's probably stepped on campus. He had opportunities as a young player, and just never was removed from that position. You know, even during his injury, was still affecting the play on the field by coaching guys up, getting guys like Jahad Campbell ready to, you know, be a leader, who has stepped up in himself. Jahad Campbell. Another guy that I saw that was very vocal when he was on the field was Justin Jefferson, the JUCO transfer from last year. Very highly touted. We were all excited about his speed, his range, all of those things. We were excited to see it, right? He's stepping up and becoming a leader. You look at the edge, Q-Rob, Keanu Colt, man. Keanu Colt, I didn't know he was such a vocal guy. And his explosiveness, his play on the field is definitely starting to become more of a thing to look at, right? Something you can't see. I mean, something you can see, not something you just kind of speculate about. But it's going to be solid. It's going to be solid. Then you look at the D-line, just a plethora of leadership. You talk about Jaheim Otis, Tim Keenan, Tim Smith. Ja Latham is stepping up as a vocal leader. You got young guys. You got guys who aren't as going into their second year, like Curtis Perry, who's vocally being there. James Smith, I mean, guys just are stepping up, you know, showing that want to, firing off with the chip on the shoulder. Intensity is there at practice and in scrimmages. I love what I'm seeing. Jump to the offensive side. Of course, you got Tyler Booker, you got Jaden Roberts, who are just foregone leaders, unsung leaders. But you also have James Brockemeyer, who's taking command of the center position, proving his worth, proving his value. The young man is dedicated to this team. He had multiple opportunities to leave and chose to stay, even after Coach Saban left. You know, nobody that recruited him is on the staff anymore. Nobody. Not one. Not one coach that recruited him is on the staff anymore. Like other players. Some of them, I mean, I think the running backs and maybe the D linemen, you know, a few of the tight ends, they were recruited by Freddie Roach and Robert Gillespie. But this group, this team, the staff that recruited majority of this team is no longer there. So for guys like James Brockemeyer to stick through it and continue to fight, and now he's being looked at as a vocal leader, as a somebody that's assuming command of this offense in that position, it's a great sign, you know. And then you also have a guy like Parker Brailsford, who came over from Washington, went through his little mental battle last week, went through it for the scrimmage, and then, you know, had to come through his little test. I would love to see if he's back in practice today. That would be awesome. I think he just adds value to that room. And then you look to the future, guys like Caden Proctor coming back. What type of mentality does he come back with? And does he fall in line with the leadership of this team and place himself as a leader, not necessarily a vocal leader, but leading by example, working hard? You look at the wide receiver room, Kendrick Law, Jeremy Bernard, Kobe Prentice, Emmanuel Henderson. Those are kind of like your leaders in that room, and they're doing their job. You got support leadership like Cole Adams, Jaron Hamilton, Bubba Hampton, young guy who's, you know, very, very adept to learning, you know, just eager to learn, but leading by example. It's just a group of leaders in that wide receiver room. The tight end room, they do what they do. Tight ends kind of just, they're such a mature group. CJ Dupree, Danny Lewis, Robbie Oots, Josh Cuevas, and Jay Lindsey. That's a mature group. Jay Lindsey being the only young guy in that room, but he carries himself as if he's a second or third year guy. Now, running backs, I think that's another room that just feeds off of each other. They understand their roles. They're not necessarily looking to lead vocally. They do what they do, and I mean, they do it well. They do it well. All four of them that are on the roster for scholarship right now, all four of those guys do it well. The quarterback room. Now, this is what we get touchy about, because a lot of people think that I'm against Ty Simpson. No, I'm just not over Jalen Milroe. You know, I'm not over Jalen Milroe. I'm not above Ty Simpson's development, what he needs to grow in. I'm not above what Dylan Lonergan and what Austin Mack need to grow in, and definitely not with Jalen Milroe, you know. But I hate to see the arguments be made, the open-ended arguments that have no facts to them. People say he can't read defenses, but literally went 11-2 last year, you know, and had to sit out a game in a game that could have helped him in his trajectory as far as his growth and getting comfortable with the offense. And you look at Ty Simpson, who got thrown into that fire, and that didn't help him. That didn't help Ty Simpson develop. It actually, to me, it pushed him back because he didn't perform to his liking. And if you talk to Ty Simpson about that start against USF last year, he would tell you he wasn't ready. And having to work with Jalen Milroe and compete against him day in and day out is allowing him to grow and mature in that aspect, because there's different levels of preparation that you need to be ready for the game. And if you ask me, and if I were to ask the staff and they were to be honest and not give us the media correct answer, to give you the honest answer, that is what's separating Jalen Milroe and how he's receiving the offense and functioning. And then you see Ty Simpson kind of picking up the same thing and starting to pick it up now, just now picking it up. But Milroe has been doing it from day one of spring practice. And then guys like Lonergan, who's up and down, you know, with his performance. He's given opportunity for a guy like Mack to push him. And when the lights come on, Dylan Lonergan shows up just like Austin Mack. So we have four quality guys who are following the example of the number one guy, which is Jalen Milroe. So any praise that you get to Ty Simpson, you got to look at the guy in front of him, because the guy in front of him is doing that much better to maintain that position. And I really think we have this misconception because of the media clickbait. You know, I saw one of my good friends, TDA. Y'all know that I love TDA. Talking about Ty Simpson put on a clinic. No, he did not. Ty Simpson had more incompletions than Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe actually had, if you take away 2 of the drops, he only had 1 incompletion of all his passes that he threw on the day. So the checkdowns were definitely being utilized heavily by Jalen Milroe. For people that say he don't like to go through his reads, the checkdowns were used. I mean, second, third read, everything. A lot of short passes from Jalen Milroe this last scrimmage. And his touchdown pass was a second read. It wasn't the first read. So I like the progress I'm seeing from all of them. Ty Simpson going against the 2s. Like I said, the 1s and 2s at Alabama are 1s everywhere else, right? So you look at what Ty Simpson did, and he did have some of the first group O-line in there. So that's a help too, to see that he's able to move with some of the key starters, some of the key offensive linemen in front of him. But one thing that I've always said about Ty Simpson, he gets happy feet. Anytime that pocket starts to close on him, he gets happy feet. And he forces things because he knows he has the arm talent. And luckily he had 2 passes that were just like Miro. It could have been picked, but you could tell that they're both comfortable with their assumption of command of the offense, understanding pre-snap what they're looking at, what the defense is giving them pre-snap, and then adjusting as the play develops. So I'm excited to see both those guys play out. Right now, I don't think there's a competition for number 1. I think you have a solid 1 in Milroe. You have a solid 2 in Ty Simpson, which is probably the best mixture you could ask for. And you got 2 young guys in Austin Mack and Dylan Lonergan who are battling to be, viable and assets to the team. I think if you can keep all 4 of these guys on the roster, it makes your defense better. When you talk about scout team, you look at all the talent that's probably not going to start, that's going to be on the scout team, giving you looks especially for the likes of Tennessee. We got a similar quarterback on the roster that Tennessee has in Dylan Lonergan, a passer, a gunslinger, and Dylan Lonergan, just like Nico from Tennessee. You look at Carson Beck and what he brings to the table with his traditional style, his traditional QB, West Coast QB look. Carson Beck, not the most athletic, but definitely can go through his reads and progression. You got a guy like Dylan Lonergan and Austin Mack who can really push your defense in scout team. And you got a guy like Ty Simpson. You don't have to change your script for him if Milroe goes down. So I think we're in the best position. You got a proven winner with Milroe, right? He's showing his progression. He's showing that he can get better. He showed it last year. And I want y'all for all the Milroe doubters, I need y'all to understand this. Milroe lost to 2 teams last year. Lost to 2 teams. One needed 14 points taken off the board to beat him, and the other needed overtime to beat him, to win. With the bad offensive line play, both games offensive line play was bad. Penalties was a kryptonite. No, we didn't get the scoring efficiency, but you look at what Milroe was able to do in the midst of all that while still trying to learn to be a college quarterback. It just baffles me that nobody wants to acknowledge that. But you all give Ty Simpson credit for a quarter of 3-4 good passes in a quarter, and say that he's ready against Kentucky, a team that was already beaten. So it's just backwards with the way of thinking. I look at it as this: just like Ty Simpson came in and had a solid game against Kentucky, I think he could do that this year. I feel like he's more prepared to do it this year than last year. And it fits him. It helps him continue to grow. He has to gradually ease into this thing. It's good when you don't have to force a guy like Ty Simpson onto the field early before he's ready mentally, right? He gets to see the snaps. He get the feel for the game. He gets to see the speed of the game and just develop behind the scenes. So when it's time, now he's hitting you with a different dynamic at a different confidence, right? So I like the plan that the staff has in place for our quarterback room. I love the wide receiver rotation. I love the D-line rotation and all the leaders that are stepping up in those groups. I mean, you look at it, we're going to have a solid team. And I would be surprised if we lose more than 1 game. I would be surprised if we lost more than 1 game going into this season. And that's just my personal opinion. That's not, me being a fan. I look at the quality of depth at every spot, minus the corners, right? Every spot has quality depth. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna stick at. That's where I'm gonna stick with it. And I think we're gonna hold on, y'all. I gotta take this. Give me 2 seconds. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm a veteran. I was supposed to have an appointment this weekend. They didn't never give me my confirmation, so I got to make sure I stay on top of that so I can stay in front of y'all, right? but yeah, I'm feeling all of that with the team. I think this is a solid group. For those that think Ty Simpson is a better quarterback than Milroe, Saturday you will be sadly mistaken. And please don't come in here with no blindfolds on. I really think y'all are going to be impressed with Milroe's development in the time that he's had off in the off season. I was impressed. I didn't expect this much growth. I still thought it would be a close race, with the quarterback competition. And I said this in the last year. I said Ty Simpson would have an opportunity, and it would have to be early. If Milroe showed any sign of improvement, this staff with their experience and their expertise to develop quarterbacks would notice it, and they have yet to even budge to make that change. Jalen Milroe has taken the reps with ones the whole spring. This isn't a situation like last season where it was Milroe and Ty. One day it's Ty taking ones, then Milroe's taking ones. This staff, who has two guys who are quarterback developers, and Nick Sheridan and Kalen DeBoer, they are sticking with Jalen Milroe. And so for everybody in the chat that doubts that knowledge, and a team that literally was a staff that literally just coached a Heisman winning quarterback in this offense, they feel like Jalen Milroe is doing exactly what he needs to do. So I feel sorry for you Adams and people out there. I feel sorry for y'all. Best player starts, and people hate that it's Jalen Milroe. I'm sorry. Who we getting at in the chat? I see some activity. Y'all know I like to get it started with the quarterback situation. We loaded, Chris. We real loaded. Smook, how are we looking with all of the motion? Many mental mistakes? Not necessarily. And Rich, I'm not sure if you're talking about the offensive side or the defensive side. But offensively, the pre-snap motion is looking like something. When you run an offense like this, Rich, and I think you might agree with me, this is just appealing to this generation of football players, right? All these bells and whistles, all of this, everything that's new about it. The nuances is exciting for these players. You got to think they not sitting under Tommy Rees, who's just having them, line them up and say, you're supposed to be the better player, go win. Like, or Bill O'Brien. Like, this is like an offense where they're saying, all right, we're keying for you, but if he's not open, let's go here. Pre-snap motion. We're going to give you a double move out of the slot. All of these things are happening in one play. So, yeah, I'm really rocking with it. Where's Darius? We got Darius back in here today? If Milroe was so good last year, why is it even that QB Darius, I think I just told you that there was no QB competition. There's QB competition Darius, did you play football? I'm glad to see you back today. Did you play football? Did you play any organized sports? I don't think so. The way you've been talking the last 2 days, I'm starting to become concerned. But yeah, Jordan, don't talk about Marcus today. We got a surprise Thursday. Y'all. We got a surprise Thursday, y'all. But back to the segment, y'all. Oh man, you got me excited with that one, Jordan. I ain't even gonna lie. Jordan, you need to become a member just because of that. Just because you brought him up. Are you over here in my phone? Time out. I think Jordan might be in my phone, y'all. You hacked my phone, Jordan? You hacked my phone? I'm gonna show you something. And you probably won't be able to read it. So I put my I plan my segments out, or I try to plan my segments out like early in the week on Sundays when I'm in my chill time. I'm on the back porch. I might pour me a little glass of something, or I might just be chilling on the back porch or anywhere where I can find some space to think. Where's my notes at? Here we go. This ain't it. Here you go. So right here is like my segments for the week, like my highlights. And right here at the third one, it says Marcus Harris highlight breakdown. Literally, it says that, y'all. It literally says that. So I think that's cool that you brought that up, literally. So you was a cornerback. I were a cornerback in Division II. So you didn't finish school either. Cool. I appreciate you, Darius. I think the true concern for football folks is, can Miro develop enough to win a title? And that's fair. If we're happy with second, third, fourth place finishes, we shouldn't have concerns. And I'm not a Miro hater. I just have concerns. David Mills, and your concerns are valid, right? But you gotta understand this. Miro, in his green stage of development, Tua didn't come out and have a perfect season. Tua just had the perfect match of offensive coordinators, offensive line, running backs. He had a defense on the other side that was solid. Jalen Miro was dealing with his second offensive coordinator, a new and not even up and coming offensive coordinator, a new offensive coordinator. Tommy Rees had no experience, no real experience. He was calling plays for Notre Dame, and you saw how that panned out, right? Then you bring in the fact that we bring in a new defensive coordinator to adjust to a scheme that's really been played out for like 3 or 4 years now. The gap scheme has not been viable for us. You factor that in. You put in a left tackle who got his butt whipped all season. You factor in a center who couldn't get a snap right, not one clean game of snaps. You factor in developing a bunch of receivers who have crazy talent that are trying to learn to trust their offensive scheme that doesn't fit any of their skill sets to a certain degree, right? We're not using the running game enough to offset his, to help him with his development. Like nobody's identifying that. And you guys wanted to throw Ty Simpson into that? That would have derailed Ty Simpson's career. I'm looking at it as if you had to protect the team last year, Ty Simpson was not the option. We would have hurt Ty Simpson more than we helped him. And there was somebody on that staff that saw that. And there's people on this staff that see the same thing. He has tendencies that he has to break before he steps up to the next level. I can't wait. I hope Ty Simpson sticks around because I believe he'll be our fourth or fifth. How many quarterbacks we had in Heisman contention? You had Jalen Hurts have a Heisman contention season. You had Tua. You had Mac Jones. You had Bryce. Jalen Miro was just a Heisman contender last year, right? He's going to come back as probably one of the forerunners. I feel like Ty Simpson, without any snaps this year as a starter, he can come in as a highly touted. Will get the looks. He will get the looks for being in Heisman contention. I just don't think he's ready. He doesn't have that extra factor to be the guy that we needed last year. He didn't. That USF game proved it. That USF game proved it. That boy Darius, man. Y'all leave Darius alone, man. That boy played D2, man. I had to do my daily teleport, y'all, because Darius talking crazy. I don't know what he's saying. Darius, I thought you was a Georgia fan. Why are you always talking about Shedeur Sanders? And then also, how old are you? Darius. All right, y'all, I can't even talk to Darius today. Y'all can talk to Darius. I'm going to go, who's heating up? Let's start on the offensive side. Who's heating up? I know y'all heard a lot about this scrimmage. I have the scrimmage script, play by play, pass completions. I think the only series that we didn't pay attention to, well, I didn't get to see, that wasn't sent to me, was Dylan Lonergan's series where he came in with the 3. So, but yeah. Oh man, y'all leave Darius alone, man. That boy, But who's heating up offensively? Wilk and Formby. Let's start at the offensive line. Wilk and Formby is heating up. Y'all didn't get to see the jacket today. Hold on. This is one I want to show y'all. It's my fire. Got that 1831 on it. You know what I'm saying? Got the Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Got the little Alabama A on it. Got the little Crimson Tide on the back. This mother fresh, ain't it? Adam, you want one like this? Adam? Yeah. That mother fresh. But who's heating up offensively? Let's talk about it. Offensively, Wilk and Formby is heating up. He's solidifying himself at that starting right tackle. I will say this: Naquil Bertrand at left tackle had a solid scrimmage. If I had to say who was better at the left tackle out of the guys that's battling for that position, Naquil Bertrand was better than Elijah Pritchett this last scrimmage. And Elijah Pritchett had a solid scrimmage too. He got beat a few times. It was a few times where technique was just, there's a lot of technique issues with Elijah that I don't see with Naquil. The more reps he gets, Bertrand. So James Brockemeyer, he's heating up as solidifying himself as a starter. I think the whole Parker Brailsford saga kind of put Parker behind. I think it was a tight race before he went into his little sabbatical or his hiatus or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, shout out Naquil. Yeah, he playing solid. He playing solid. Darius Fontaine keep talking about being on the sideline for this Georgia Bama game. I'm starting to think you cap. Nobody like you. That's like your claim to fame or something. I don't know. Kevin Lynch said, I really don't get these Miro haters after all the success he had. Right. The way he turned it around after the USF game. I know you meant what you meant. USF game, being benched, and the leadership he showed was impressive. I mean, that's just off the field. You can turn on the film for on-field play, and he's better than 8 of the other quarterbacks in the conference. And he proved that. He was the only quarterback out of the conference to get to the playoffs. Not one game did the defense score 28 points. Not one game did the defense keep the offense, the opposing offense from scoring, 20 plus. Right. So Miro had to be a leader and do this. So I don't get it either, Darius. Not Darius, but Kevin. I don't get it. Hey, Darius. Hey, you just want to interview after the game? Interview with who? Us? After y'all lose? Darius, if you are really on the sidelines, and hopefully you ain't, if you really on the sidelines after the game, I will come and find you. Please don't don't get ran out of Tuscaloosa, first of all. And then secondly, I can't wait, man. I think you're very sadly mistaken. If you're a Georgia fan, you've been in a Bama chat for like 3 days in a row now. That's concerning to me. That's concerning to me. He finished sixth for the Heisman, but you remember week 5 or week 6, I think it was after the Ole Miss game, he was number 4 in Heisman votings. Miro was going crazy last year. So I don't see how people, I don't know. I don't know what people are seeing other than his skin. Other than the fact that he's a quarterback at Alabama. That's what it comes down to me for a lot of these fans. When they talk about what he did, like, even in what he did, we still were in the playoffs. There were how many other teams in the Power 5 conferences that didn't make the playoffs? And Alabama plays an SEC schedule in the SEC West, and we beat the number 1 team to win our conference. The defense didn't score the last points to win us that game. Miro, with all his flaws, was able to do that in a system that just doesn't fit his skill set. I just don't get it, y'all. I could stay on this Miro debate all day. I wish all players had heart as much as Miro does. He's a great player. Appreciate that $5 super chat, Ronald. I really do think people overlooking what this young man did. I ain't gonna say it, Byron. I ain't gonna say it. Y'all not gonna clip it and put me on Twitter. Have folks coming at me talking about I'm racist. Nah, I ain't gonna do it. I'll let y'all have that debate on y'all own, because we know what time it is. I have it on in a more personal segment, you know what I'm saying, when we could talk face to face so y'all could see and feel what I'm saying behind it, because there are some who aren't ashamed about it. There are some who aren't ashamed to say, he ain't because of, you get what I'm saying? So we'll talk about it another day. Yeah, y'all know. Hey, I was dabbing, and you know what? You know what's crazy? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take a chance. I'm jumping off the boat, y'all. I'm about to jump off the boat. I'm about to get in this water, and I'm about to swim. We about to swim. Listen, so a lot of you all literally hate Miro because he's a black quarterback. I saw the same energy with Jalen Hurts. We didn't get it with Tua because he was from Hawaii, but you had some. Soon as Mac Jones took the helm, and Mac Jones did his thing. Nobody complained, and Mac Jones was not the best quarterback. Bryce Young was actually the better quarterback when Bryce took the helm. The only reason Bryce got a lot of love is because Bryce was from California. Coach Saban was so much behind Bryce, and he was the number 1 quarterback. He had the 5 stars to go along with it. It all. But as soon as the brother come up here, We got so many problems with him. And he literally took the first horrible snap of the season and turned it into what? How many yard touchdown? And people were complaining about that. Oh my God, he can't catch the snap. I want you to try to catch a snap at your ankles. I can't tell you how many tweets and Facebook posts I saw about Milroe being trash. This black dude, this black that. Like, it had nothing to do with what he was doing on the field. And a lot of you all are bringing that same energy because he literally went out there and put up top 6 stats, top 7 stats. I think he was the number 4 quarterback, number 5 quarterback in the SEC, was top 25 in the nation as far as efficiency, QBR, yards, everything. Didn't turn the ball over a crazy amount. You had a quarterback at Georgia who was getting a lot of praise for being a Heisman. He has more interceptions and pass attempts than Jalen Milroe. You talking about average sack yardage? How does a quarterback get sacked? Because the offensive line is a blocker. Nobody's talking about how horrible Caden Proctor played the first 3 weeks of the season. Nobody's talking about how horrible J.C. Latham played against Texas. Nobody's talking about how bad Tyler Booker got beat up in the first half against Michigan. Nobody's talking about how horrible of a center Seth McLaughlin was for 14 games or 13 games in the season. 14. How many it was? He was horrible. Even when Ty was in the game against USF, Seth McLaughlin was horrible. Nobody's talking about the attitudes and the lack of hustle from Isaiah Bonds and Amari Niblack when they didn't get the pass on to him. Nobody's talking about our defensive struggles when we couldn't get off the field on third down to give Milroe the extra opportunity. Nobody's talking about the simple fact that he got set down. There was other quarterbacks given opportunities against USF in a game where Texas loss wasn't on Milroe. He had 1 interception that game. He had 14 points taken off the board too, and we lost by 10. So now make your argument. What is it other than his skin color? What is it really that's going on that makes you mad about Milroe being the guy? Somebody talk to me. Nah, Adam, I'm not wrong. You may not be one of them. I don't believe you're one of them, but a lot of people are. Majority of the Milroe doubters are. I didn't say you were. Adam, we've already established but a majority of the fan base that is against Milroe has no real reason to be against him. You talk about his inability to develop. How can you say that when he literally continued to develop in a system that wasn't even fit for his skill set? Not one time did a coordinator come down on the sideline. Tommy Rees never came down to the sideline and tried to coach him up to show him what he needs to see on the field. For your first year starter, how many times do you get success out of that? No quarterback coach on the sideline. Who was helping Milroe on the sideline as far as the quarterback, the pass game? Holman Wiggins sure wasn't. He couldn't even handle the receivers. He couldn't handle solid rotation and get receivers out there, the best personnel sets for receivers. You got Coach Saban, who's a defensive-minded coach, worried about mostly focusing on the defense. Who was on the sideline helping Milroe as the QB coach? Talking on the headset only could do so much. I'm not buying that. The unofficial assistant coaches dog Milroe more than anybody, and they are black. Listen, the unofficial coaches are crazy, and I've been on record saying this. I went at them in their comments. They're crazy. When they broke down levels past concepts, the way they broke it down and were trying to explain it, go watch that video. As a matter of fact, I'll share that video. It made no sense. If you try to teach that to a high school student right now, the way that they was talking about it, cut it. And I had a debate with them. Coach Smook want all the smoke, y'all. I never back down, especially when I know what I'm talking about. I got coaches. There are coaches that watch this show that have literally written me in my inbox and said, man, don't worry about it. Milroe's just a black quarterback at Alabama. And that's what it is. And I told Kyle this, I've told Ty, me and Ty, we've had this conversation in depth. When you come and your argument is what he did last year, let's turn on the tape from last year. Let's turn on the tape from week 1 all the way up until Michigan. And let's highlight every spot where he changed. He either improved or he stayed the same. He never regressed. And then to lose to the number 1 defense in the nation in the playoffs in overtime because of a bad snap. Come on, man. And it ain't even about skin color. It's just the nature of the beast and the society we live in. I feel like we should be able to have this debate, emotional, dynamic, whatever, however y'all want to call it. We should be able to have this debate and it not be created as hate. It's just the way that this society is. Michael Vick talked about this. how the black quarterback doesn't get the same treatment. Colin Kaepernick. They all talked about this. This is an ongoing issue, and it hasn't changed. It definitely hasn't changed in the South. If Miro has one bad game, I guarantee you they come out the woodwork. If Miro, the bad games that Miro did have and we ended up winning, if we had lost those games, I guarantee you we would see reports of Miro getting death threats, all of this stuff. But when John Parker Wilson was here stinking it up, oh my God, he would get every excuse in the world. Every excuse. Greg McElroy, when he had bad games, oh my God, every excuse. AJ McCarron, who had very few bad games, every excuse. But as soon as Jalen Hurts came in, oh, that USC game, he made a lot of people mad because Blake Barnett had to get replaced. Oh my God. Y'all should have seen Facebook then. Y'all should have seen my Facebook timeline when Jalen Hurts came in. Oh, and then the next year when Tua came on and he started showing some spark, they was like, oh, who's this Hawaiian kid? Who is this? Like, come on, man. Why we just can't accept players for what they do and what they do on the field? That's my complaint. Because if you took skin color out of it and you just watched the game, guess what? Ty Simpson, even in these practices, even in these scrimmages, he is nowhere near better than Jalen Milroe. He's nowhere near it. I mean, nowhere near it. If they were to show up to a combine and there was like, all right, we're doing a draft after the combine. Let's go out here. We're going to do workouts. We're going to do this. I guarantee you 8 out of 10 teams, and these are NFL GMs who have, expressed their thoughts on Jalen Milroe. 8 out of 10 teams will take Jalen Milroe over Ty Simpson. I'm just saying. It's sad. Who's taking it personal? Who's taking it personal? If you're taking it personal, then you're not listening to the message. You're looking at the person, and you're looking at another young black man who is I'm strong in advocating for our young black athletes. We don't get the same opportunities. We don't get the same benefit of the doubt. We don't. It's just the nature of this society. Our society is like this, y'all. And I hate to get into this but Alabama football is no different than society right now. A lot of people in this fan base do not want to acknowledge the fact that Jalen Milroe can get better. It has been people in this chat that say he will not get better. Like, you literally put a cap on a young man who's 19. Well, Jalen Milroe is 21 now, 21 going on 22, however old. A young man who has all of his life, his prime ahead of him, right? And you guys are trying to tell me that he can't get better? He can't develop? Some of you are trying to tell him the same thing Bill O'Brien told him before he went, that he needed to change position. And this young man literally just led our struggling team with a trash offensive line that we had. I ain't gonna say offensive line, with the trash left tackle play that we had, the trash center play that we had, with the inconsistent play calling that we had. We were in the playoffs and one play away from going into the doggone another series, another overtime, and possibly getting to the national championship. I mean, we did the same thing with Jalen Hurts. Half a field of offense. We ran pass concepts that used half the field. And people hated it, but we were winning. The same argument that was being made for Jalen Milroe, Jalen Hurts coming into the next season after he started that first season is the same thing we're banking on with Milroe. The difference is this time, I think we have a staff in place now that can develop quarterbacks. So you won't just see improvement from Jalen Milroe because of his attitude and his leadership. You'll see improvement from Ty Simpson. You'll see improvement from Dylan Lonergan and Austin Mack because of Jalen Milroe's leadership. He could have made it all about him, but he hasn't. Those guys have gotten together multiple times and went through film. They all because of Jalen Milroe. Ty Simpson's leadership and his vocal. I literally saw Ty and Jalen, like Jalen was on Ty's head about not being vocal and leading like he know he can. So when you look at character and what he does on the field, why is there so much flack against him? I'm just saying. Adam, at this point, Adam, I could care less what you saying now, because you're still thinking I'm making about racism with you. I'm talking about it ain't just you. You ain't the only person that shared this opinion. And if you are a football mind, if you evaluate football on the same level as some of the powers to be, some of the people that literally do this for a living, you would see that Jalen Miro has the higher upside. Ty Simpson is probably the most developed quarterback in that room right now, right? But he cannot be the quarterback for this system right now, because if he was, he would have had the snaps this past scrimmage. He would have had the snaps doggone the fifth practice of the spring. That's all I'm saying. So the writing's on the wall. Jalen Miro is the guy. He's doing his work, and I can't wait for him to display it. And it's not to show that Ty isn't the guy. It's not to show that Austin and Dylan aren't the guy. It's because of the type of energy that people like you and the other doubters who don't bring football facts to it. If you want to talk about Miro's inability to read the checkdowns, go check out Bryce's first year as a starter. Look how many checkdowns Bryce missed as a first year starter. But you know what saved Bryce? Najee Harris. You know what saved Bryce? 3 doggone first round draft picks on his offensive line. 2 first round, should have been first round. If you look at Mechie, 2 first round draft pick wide receivers. Like he had it set up for him. And I mean, and he was a special talent. Miro didn't have that luxury, y'all. I wish, man. And Darius, I know you're a Georgia / Colorado fan, right? Imagine if Shedeur Sanders had Bryce Young's offensive line this past season with his receivers. You get what I'm saying? Like, it does matter. It does matter that when you get the ball snapped to you, you're not picking it up off your ankles. Man, Seth McLaughlin screwed Bryce Young multiple times. Bryce just was lucky enough to be 5'10", right? He just lucky enough to be 5'10". Hey, Jay, the GOAT. Hey, Jay, if you don't want to hear it, there's plenty of other channels you can go and watch, my guy. I promise you, there's plenty of other channels that you can go and watch and get your Bama football reports and news from. But this is the topic at hand. I love when haters come in talking crazy. I love people of all color, but if Ty started and had the same type season as Miro, would people be trashing him as? That's been my question. And I'm glad we didn't play Ty last year. I feel like Ty's going to be that dude when it's his time. I'm so glad they didn't start him last year. Y'all, there's a certain look that quarterbacks need to have in their eyes when they go out on that field, and Ty did not have it when you step into that USF game. When you go look at that USF game, he did not have it. And granted, he came playing behind a trash Ty Buckner, who I never thought Ty Buckner belonged on the field for Bama. Maybe at Notre Dame he did good, but for Bama, the SEC, what we were going up against, I never saw him having a chance. You talking about noodle arm, accuracy wasn't there, like, and there were false reports coming out from a network I was with that Ty Buckner was this great quarterback and that he was doing all this handling of the offensive stuff. That wasn't the case at all, and you saw it in the game. So before y'all start pushing Miro to the side and trashing Miro, put yourself in his shoes. Look what he had to deal with. I'm on fire, bro. I feel it. It's eclipsing heavy. It's eclipsing heavy. We eclipsed all of here. Adam, I hope he sees your comment and really talks to me, because you've been at this thing about Miro for the longest, and I ain't the only one on the panel that noticed it. I'm just the only one that's gonna speak on it. So if I get reprimanded for that, so be it. I stand 10 toes down on mine. You won't catch me backpedaling. Sorry. At this point. Yes, and that's my point. That's my point, David. We're same thing that everybody said about Jalen Hurts, and he goes to Oklahoma and basically becomes the drafted quarterback after people said he would never be a NFL quarterback. People said that about Jalen Hurts, and he goes and he gets under a quarterback coach that's able to keen in on his abilities, that's able to call plays and do things that help accentuate what he does best for the team. Right? As he's continuing to develop, and we saw Jalen Hurts become a second-round quarterback and playing what? Jalen Hurts has played in what, 2 Super Bowls now? Or is it 1 or 2? I mean, Jalen Hurts is a starting quarterback for one of the hottest teams in the league right now, or as far as last year, up until last year. Jalen Hurts did that, and he started at Bama. Had the same type of trajectory, had the same skill sets as Miro. As a matter of fact, if we be honest, Miro's arm talent is better than Jalen Hurts. At that stage, as a first-year starter, Jalen Miro's arm talent was a lot better. The numbers prove it. He didn't have a lot of design. Miro didn't have a lot of design runs like Jalen Hurts. And you really can't compare them because you had two different types of offensive coordinators. So I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. Antoine, tell the truth, man. Yeah, Antoine, tell the truth. Ain't no race baiting about it, man. Y'all can get mad and y'all. The reason why it's so touchy for a lot of people is because it's the truth. American society has conditioned us to not deal with the truth. We rather deal with media agenda, right? Let's build this agenda that Ty is really doing all this great stuff in practice, when really he's been doing it since the first day they started taking snaps. The same thing he's been doing, he did it this past Saturday. Same thing with Jalen Milroe. If we really want to talk about who put on a clinic and who showed improvement, I'd say Austin Mack. Austin Mack was one today in the quarterback room. He probably the most improved quarterback in the room right now, with Milroe's improvement, with Ty Simpson's improvement. You look at where Austin Mack started 2 weeks ago and to where he is now, man, I'm telling you, and he still has a way to go to get to Ty Simpson's level. You get what I'm saying? He still has a way to go to get to Jalen Milroe's level. Like it's all about what narrative you want to push. Me, I'm not a media agenda pusher. So when people come out talking about Ty put on a clinic, no, he didn't. When people come out and say Jalen Milroe balled out, no, he didn't. They both had good days. They both had solid days. And because of that, there was no separation created between 1 and 2. They're literally solidifying themselves at where they're supposed to be at this time for this team. So yeah. My boy said moon soft. Okay, Ruff. Hey, Ruff, you the one look like you triggered. And fan funder or not, man. When you come in and you totally continue to push that narrative, like I only debunk it because I wasn't there. Because I was there. I only debunk it because I was there. Last year I couldn't. You know, I only got to go off of what I was being fed from people who claimed they knew. But now seeing it and seeing some of the things that's being said, I'm like, oh my God. And that's the thing. If I wasn't there, I probably wouldn't be reacting. Maybe if y'all were there, y'all probably wouldn't be saying half the stuff. You get what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it. And Darius Fontaine got to be 13, y'all. Ooh, John, don't say that. Don't tell that truth. And it's fine. Look, I'm not making it all about race. I'm saying a lot of fans and Bama, I think I get what you're saying. A lot of the gripe that you're getting from this fan base about Milroe being the guy, it's the older generation who they just don't evolve. They don't change. They don't deal well with change. I saw when Saban retired, I saw a lot of fans say, you know, those initial thoughts, oh, we're done, we're doomed, this, that, and the third. And the more they sat around and they started listening to a lot of the logic that this panel has been preaching, and there were some tough conversations that need to be had about your doubt, about your people doubted Kalen DeBoer, you know, like talking about he couldn't recruit. And we just kept preaching the same thing because you got people on site, you got people there, you got people being in talks with people who are actually connected, right? And we're echoing some of the same things that they're echoing, and we're seeing the development and the process start to play out. I really believe that if a lot of the older generation that are against Milroe because of who he is, right? If they was to sit back and really say, okay, we've been through this before. Jalen Hurts did the same thing and literally came in a game where Tua was struggling against Georgia. Y'all remember the game when Tua got hurt against Georgia after coming back from that tightrope surgery? When he came in that Georgia game and he was struggling, offensive line wasn't getting beat up. Tua just didn't have it that game. Who comes in and saves the game? Not he scores the go ahead with his legs, but the first pass was with his arms. He used his arm. He used his arm, his play extension ability, and he did his thing. He showed his progression. Even in mop-up duty during the season, we saw Jalen Hurts early on in the season. He struggled with progression. He's done. But he kept working. He had a quarterback coach to work with, right? And they helped him develop. He used that leadership that Tua had. I really feel like this is the year that Jalen Milroe is going to be able to display every quality aspect that people overlook, and it's going to show and it's going to carry on to the field. Not just be a locker room guy like we gave him credit for a lot last year. people believing in him and all that. I think this year he solidifies it on the field. This man has a legit QB developer in the room. But yeah, that's it. That's it. I'm done talking about it. I'm glad I ruffled some feathers. I see some names. I got some targets in here that I'm very, you guys are my targets. Adam, you know you always been my target. Adam, I give you attention because you're a fan funder. That's about it. Because I don't think I know football more than anybody. I just know football, right? I just know football for what I know it to be. And a lot of times what I know it to be aligns with what a lot of people know it to be who are in the ranks, who coach, who do this. What I will say this, you will not put racism in my doggone vocabulary, okay? I am nowhere near racist. I don't promote racism. I do debunk it when it's seen. It's blatant. It's blatant that some, and I didn't say you. It's a lot of people in this fan base that will continue to push this notion because he is a black quarterback. Simple as that. Tell me I'm a lie. Tell me I'm a lie. Smook, a friend of mine, wrote a book, and the title was "The Lies That Keeps Us Together While the Truth That Tears Us Apart." Hey, the truth always gonna tear folks apart. Adam Lamparello, get out your. Oh, that's not what I want to read. It don't matter if you're young, racism is passed down and kept alive. Let's not talk about racism, y'all. Let's get past it. We don't want to scare people away, right? We don't want to scare people away. We don't want to tell the truth. People don't like the truth. Me personally, if I get reprimanded for this, y'all see it here live. I'm fine with that. This is truth. This is where society is. I've talked with other white coaches, other white gentlemen, African-American gentlemen. I've talked with Asian coaches. Like, this is true. The Polynesian culture gets a lot of slack for how they move and how they carry their teams. And they come to the States and they play these teams. They go to some places and they aren't able to sit down and eat in certain spots. You get what I'm saying? Because of their culture and what they do, the way that they carry themselves. This is not an unknown thing. This is a real thing when it comes to college football. And it's real heavy in Alabama. You got to understand, we have so many cities and states. I mean, cities in this state right now and towns in this state where it's still prevalent. I can't go there and park my car and get out and be safe. It's real. Some people will know that this is an Alabama football player stopping in their town, and because he ain't the right skin color, he won't get the same treatment as another player or another person. It is real. It is real. So be in your feelings if you want to, but it is what it is. Anyways, A-Day hype. We're gonna close it out with some A-Day hype. Let me take a sip of my coffee because that was a good segment. I like that. I like the fact that we can have these talks because I got guys like Tink and Patriot Life, and like those are upstanding white gentlemen. Poetic Injustice, another upstart. You know, these are white dudes. These are white brothers of mine, right? That know where I'm coming from. If you served in the military, you know where I'm coming from. You get what I'm saying? If you were in any branch of service and you served, you know where I'm coming from, because we had to deal with it with higher ups that whether they were black or white, if you weren't the right color, you didn't get the type of respect. You didn't get acknowledgement for getting better in PT or getting better at your marksmanship at the range or just being a better soldier, right? But the guy next to you who was doing just exact the same thing you do, only difference between you and him is the skin color, and he gets the rating. Oh wow, that's baffling. That hurts. It makes you see things from a different light. Yeah, but listen, back to football, y'all. Back to football. Because if it was about football, we wouldn't be talking about Miro the way we would be excited about him developing. A lot of people, they won't even give him the benefit of the doubt and say we're excited about him developing, right? And it's been thrown out there. Coaches, reporters, staff, everybody. A-Day hype. I think one thing that a lot of people probably won't make it to, but I think you all should try to make it to if you get out there early, is the alumni flag football game. So the last A-Day I went to was 2017, and I made it to the alumni football game. And y'all, the competitive level, it's like you got some OGs that be out there from like the 70s, 80s, if they still out, you know what I'm saying? If they still out, you got some early 2000s for all my fans that were fans of 2000s. I think in 2017, I think that's when they brought, was that Mike McCoy? I don't know. I think it might have been Mike McCoy. It was a few of them out there that were like previous graduates. Javier Arenas was out there. I think Blake Sims was out there too. 2017, yeah. I think Blake Sims was out there too. And yeah, it was a crazy day. It was a crazy game because they got competitive, man. Yeah, excuse me. Imagine like Marvin Constant or what if we got Keith Holcomb? Y'all remember Keith Holcomb or Vinny Sinceri? You know, I know he on staff at Washington. What if we can get someone like that too? Because dang, man, y'all know it'll be 20 years in a few years since that first national championship. We'll be doing a 20-year anniversary in 2029 of the first national championship team under Coach Saban. That'll be 20 years. Yo, man, like that'll be crazy. That flag football game gonna be crazy, man. I'm telling y'all. Smooth eye, big boy, you right now. What? Somebody get his information. I'm up. Somebody get his information. Ruff, I want your information. I'm up. But flag football game gonna be lit. Who else, man? What else is supposed to be happening? Oh, don't forget autograph signings. Autograph signings are always a good time to get with the players, former players. Some of our highly touted recruits are going to be here. I know Noah Carter's going to be here. I plan on doing a little segment with Noah Carter. Duke Johnson. Duke Johnson's going to be here. Class of 25 commit. I think Luke is going to be here too. Luke Metz, class of 25 commit. Zamir, I wasn't sure. I couldn't understand. Like, I don't know if I was reading that right or not. Because he's a short texter, right? He's a short texter. So I'm not sure. But tonight, before I even start talking about A-Day, tonight, I know everybody was excited about a 2025 four-star cornerback that we had visiting last week, and Shamari Lewis. Everybody was excited about having him on campus. We got some good reports about his visit. Plan on having him on tonight, but it looks like we have changed the schedule up about what we're doing. So, yeah. Yeah. Now Nicole just telling how I was on here flat. Yeah. You in Huntsville? Bet. I know where to find you. The flag game. Let me pull that schedule out. I got the full 8-day rundown here. Give me a second, y'all. Huntsville. My godson in Huntsville. I'll be seeing you soon, my boy. Josh Maxson, boom, boom, boom. Alabama football. Nope, that's not the one I was looking for. Josh Maxson. Let's see. Let's look at all of our emails from old Josh Max. He the one sent me the full 8-day schedule. And Josh Maxson is the SID for Alabama. He handles all media access. All right, here we go. All right, y'all. Buckle in. It's a lot of information. Pull out your pen and paper, your phone, whatever, extra. So the 8-day game starts at 3. That means everything else is before that. You got the Tide Pride luncheon at Coleman Coliseum at 11:30 a.m. with Greg Byrne. That's gonna happen. That's gonna and then both scheduled to speak, right? And then the alumni flag football game will consist of 2 20-minute halves. It's slated to begin at 12:30 at Bryant-Denny Stadium, right? They didn't even they haven't put a roster out yet. So it's at 12:30. I'm gonna try to be out there on the field to cover that, y'all. I really do. I really want hey Jay the GOAT. I ain't worried about that. I ain't worried about that by any means, bro. I promise you. Yeah, I think enough people on here know me to know I ain't worried about that. All right, we'll see, Ruff. We'll see. We will see. Can't wait to meet you, buddy. Then they part of 8A, the baseball team. Oh, don't forget we got big baseball and softball weekend, right? Got big baseball and softball weekend. Arkansas be in town, beat up on some pigs, some hogs. Saturday, the game starts at 5 p.m. So right after A-Day, looks like. Baseball team hosts at 6 p.m. Friday. I might go to the baseball game Friday. And then 3-game series. The second game is Saturday the 13th at 5. And then the last game is Sunday. I might hit one of those games. I know one thing. The flag football game gonna be lit. I'm going to that mug. We also got softball. But they gonna be going. See, this is crazy. So we got spring game, which is gonna probably bring in about 180,000 total people, right? Well, let's be a little bit. Let's say spring game bringing about. I think the attendance last time was like 65,000. So let's just say that it's gonna bring in about 75, 80,000, right? And then you got the softball game. They travel, you know, and who they playing against? Texas A&M. They usually travel for they softball team. Then you got baseball game Saturday at 5 p.m. against Arkansas. Arkansas's baseball team is Arkansas baseball team pretty solid. Oh man. My sister just texted me. Then who else? Okay, yeah. That's it for the events that day. That's a lot to happen on campus for A-Day. So it's gonna be crazy. Hope y'all got y'all walking shoes. Hope y'all got some good walking shoes. Hey, Ruff, it's a first time for everything. Tell you that right now. Oh man, it's a first time for everything. Adam, I don't need no coaching from you, my guy. I'm sorry, bro. I can't even play the radio with you no more, buddy. I respect what your thoughts and stuff, but can't even play the radio with you no more. Arkansas baseball is number 1. Bet. So that should be they're gonna travel. They're gonna travel, man. They're gonna travel. I haven't been to a live baseball game in probably like 2 years. So I do want to get out. Maybe Sunday. If y'all in town Sunday, we should link up and go to the baseball game. Them tickets don't be expensive. All y'all got that money. The whole T-Town finna, man, listen, it's gonna be like Atlanta during Freaknik. I'm telling y'all, don't be surprised if they had a little strip. They have cars lined up and going across the Coliseum Bridge right there next to the Coliseum. They have like some drag races, some senior citizen foot races over the bridge. I'm gonna be hosting them. Y'all try to pull up the bet on them senior citizen foot races. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, Dino, I don't think many. I want to take a lesson from Smoot. He's been taught that you need your haters present. Facts. I do need them present. Pops, tell them. We need them present, and we didn't know that we stand on business too. And we stand on what we say. You already know. Hey, y'all got Pops in here? That's when it gets tricky. So be careful what you say. What you want to talk in Discord for, Ruff? Nah, be careful what you say. You took it there. We there now. We done arrived, Brittany. Tell them we done arrived. Hey, Jay. Nope. After me, brother. After me. I swear. And then, Bo, hey, yeah, get the senior citizen races. We gonna get the senior citizen races lined up. We're gonna put some money down. Hey, all money under the rock. All under. Hey, gentlemen bets only, right? Gentlemen and ladies bets only. Under the rock. And then you got to be 65 or older to get in these races, though. We don't want none of those speedsters, man. We don't want no speedsters. We don't want no speedsters. We want 65 and older. So if you ain't 65, you can't get on these races. The winner gonna take home a big pot, but it's gonna be side bets on the side. So Coach Smook, and I think I could get Coach Sean to host that with me. I think. Oh man, I swear. Oh man, no, stop, y'all. I know Shane. My pastors don't play either. Pastor don't play either. I'm just saying. Pastor don't play either. We save for a reason. You know what I'm saying? We save for a reason. But y'all, that's the 8A rundown. And I like, you know what? I gotta say this before I get off here. I am authentic above all. I am unapologetically me. So when I feel like somebody is taking personal shots at me on live, I don't feel like it does anything to the channel. I feel like it establishes a precedent. So when people come in with that same energy, you know, they know what to expect. So they don't go crying to Kyle and doing all this email and stuff. But if you got an issue with me, just bring it to me. I'm an adult, but at the same time, I'm a fan too, y'all. At the end of the day, I'm a fan. And I don't disrespect your points. Just because I disagree with them or we talk about truth doesn't mean I'm disrespecting you. I can disagree with you without disrespecting you. I think I've done a very good job of that since I've been on this platform. But what I won't stand for is when people start taking little, I mean, just like Coach Sean said last night. And Coach Sean is way more straightforward and direct. That's why I be trying to figure out how I get so much flack. Coach Sean be cussing y'all loud and everything. Just lighting you up. And I'm always there for it. I support my brother. Coach Jay get at y'all next. I love it. But they what about when Smook does it? What is it about? What is it about Smook? What is it? Please tell me. Because I've seen, man, I remember when Kyle went off because somebody was talking trash about him on Twitter. Talking about the guy from New Mexico. Y'all listening to the guy from New Mexico. And he literally lives in Tuscaloosa. So I felt he had the right to take that stance and say, this is who I am. You can say what you want, but this is what I'm bringing to the table. You got a problem with it? Come talk to me. And that's what I'm at. That's where I'm at with it. So it becomes aggravating when I look in the chat and I see 30 fan funders responding to a troll who just so happened to get a fan funder membership because of the gifted gifted subscriptions. Like, I don't like that. That's why I wish we could control who, you know, what fans, what people that support the channel could actually get those gifted subs, because then we could eliminate, we could have a fan funders chat or a subscribers chat with people who actually support the channel. And we keep it family. You get what I'm saying? We keep it Bama football on YouTube, all the undefeated. We keep it like that. Because some trolls have gotten lucky. You saw that happen with Coin God. You see where he's at. He hasn't been here. You know, who else it was? A couple people that happened for. And some people who want to support and become a fan funder can't. They just don't have the means. But they show up every day. They like, comment, and then they share. And they have valid points with their arguments and their disagreements and their opposing views, right? But then you have trolls, man. You have people who don't know nothing about football, who just come in to aggravate the chat. And I had this happen 3 weeks ago. And it's like I got a 3-week time span, a 3-week attention span for all this negativity, man. And I'm just tired of it, man. Country life too. You see, he poke in and out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, I'm gonna keep it real. You know what I'm saying? And if I can't do it here, if this causes me not to be able to do it here no more, I'll do it somewhere else. You know, this train ain't stopping. I promise you. I'm glad to be a part of Bama football on YouTube. I'm glad that we're on a platform that pushes us to be authentic. You get what I'm saying? Kyle has been coaching me up, and I haven't got reprimanded yet. So I'm gonna keep it G. I'm gonna keep it 100. And you know, I honestly think it's helping this whole channel develop that same vibe. When you got guys like myself, Sean, Ty, man, don't get Ty on this type of vibe, because that's when you start feeling little about yourself. Ty has a way of designing stuff and saying stuff that you start to feel like you don't know nothing. I've seen him do it. And it's just the most polite way possible. Like, and you end up getting mad. And you're like, dang, I really brought that on myself. So yeah, man, I'm feeling the chat. I'm feeling the support. Appreciate y'all for being who y'all are, right? And the real supporters. I love how you guys continue to support this channel, support the panel, and doing what y'all do. The fan funders, the people that, you know, contribute to this channel on a daily. I appreciate you all. The trolls that come in with the good trolling, I love it. I love the good trolls. Like, I love when we got what's his name coming here? Ananias, the Oregon fan. We need to check on Ananias, the Oregon fan. I'll still make sure we got that bet locked in. What was the bet? I said Oregon was gonna lose 3 games or something like that. I got another bet with a fan funder here. Who said they? Chris from New Jersey. Chris from New Jersey. I can't wait to see if Caden Proctor is a starter. And see that whole conversation. If y'all remember the Caden Proctor conversation, it went kind of left with some people, but the people who understood that we was just talking football, it didn't hurt them to have a difference of opinion. And now I'm gonna get some free ribs out of it. So Chris from New Jersey, what's up with bowling? Oh, Dwight. So I'm gonna put the tweet out. We're having an issue with the setting up a payment option. We're having it because it's $40 per person, right? For those that didn't get the announcement, I'm gonna make the announcement now while I get ready to close out, right? For those that didn't get the announcement, follow your boy at Coach Smook on all platforms. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and YouTube. Right now, we're active. Did I say Facebook? And Facebook. We're not as active on Facebook, but we will be hosting a my sister texts me talking about something. We will be hosting the A-Day after party. Myself, and I think Kyle will end up collabing. He just got so much going on for setting up for A-Day. But I really do feel like this is going to be a success. Just going to get this small little thing, $40 per person, right? $40 per person. We will have, right now we have 4 lanes reserved, right? If we complete, have our payment by tomorrow noon. But right now we have 20 slots. We have 20 slots. And the payment option is the only thing we're trying to iron out, because if we had did the Eventbrite, we wouldn't have the money to make the payment to reserve it. It wouldn't come till a few days later. So we're probably just going to do something to where we send it to one neutral account, and that way it could be accounted for. So everybody that's purchasing, when you send the money, when you make your purchase, your reserve, you'll get a message, right? A screenshot of your receipt of payment, and what it's for, right? And it's going to be, and because it's not 1,000 people, we can do it that way. I think the max we're going to be able to take is 40. Right now we have 20 slots. So jump in when you see this link and you see this thing to join it. Click on it, send your payment in. Once you get confirmation, we'll keep updating every time somebody makes their payment. We'll update the numbers of available slots, right? And that doesn't mean you can't come. So Saturday, April 13th, 8 p.m., 8 to 11 p.m., we will be at Bolero, right? Bolero in Tuscaloosa. Coach Smoot, y'all be outside with your boy Coach Smoot. Coach Sean, I think, is making an appearance, right? He's going to be there. We're going to be outside. We're going to have we're going to have multiple cameras, collecting some of these happenings. Have fun. Come in. If you're going to drink, control your liquor. Don't come in talking crazy or getting disrespectful, because I do have security already there. I got people there. They're going to be getting y'all up on out of there. We coming to have a good time. We're gonna talk about the A-Day. We're gonna joke. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna have some spades table set up, for y'all that think y'all can play some spades. We're gonna do all that. Shout out to my guy Kareem Hood, $5. He said, "Stop all the negative and let's do more of this family. Roll Tide." That's what I'm talking about, Kareem. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, so A-Day after dark. That's what we're gonna call it. A-Day after dark. We're gonna be at the bowling alley, hanging outside with Coach Smoot. Coach Sean will be there. I think we'll get Kyle and T to step out. Kyle think he a bowler. I'm gonna have to put a lot of y'all to shame because y'all been talking that noise on the outside with Coach Smoot's segments. I'm gonna have to go ahead and drop a 250 on y'all head real quick. And I want all the smoke. And I'm playing for wings. Bolero got some good wings. So if I beat you in the game, I either want you to cash at me or Venmo something. Apple Pay. I want money for wings. Y'all know I like to eat. I'm betting wings. I know somebody was talking about playing for shots. Y'all don't want that. I'm trying to help y'all get home. I'm not trying to have no DUIs. I'm not trying to be responsible for none of that. So don't get to talking about betting and stuff like. And I want it to be fun, y'all. I really want us to enjoy each other. I think we got a good community here. Even with all the people that's talking crazy, man. I think we still got a good community here at Bama Football on YouTube. The undefeated, you guys support like no other, right? And we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it popping, man. But yeah, it's gonna be packed. Bolero is always the spot, to go to for those that stick around after 8-8. People always trying to go in there. We might have some current players pull up on us too. I was able to get the information over to a few of the players that I talk to on a weekly basis, and I wouldn't be surprised if the likes of maybe a Jaden Roberts or a Tim Keenan or Tim Smith or Peyton Woodyard and his family, Malcolm Moore and his family. I wouldn't be surprised if they pull up on us and come hang out with the family. So yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait. Adam, if you really want to contribute $50 to my my funding and my lifestyle, I am down for that. I am down. I very rarely lose with money on the line. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. And I don't care. You know what? I'm the type of competitor. If you step up and saying that you kind of play, right? And you put money on it, I don't care about you kind of doing that. You should have kind of not said that then, because I'm about to get this money, baby. We're about to get this money, baby. You know what I'm saying? 20, I bet that I could beat you. Adam, I want 50. You already said 20. You already said 50. Ain't no regrets. You got to keep me. You only can up the money line. You can't drop the money line. You got to up that bad boy. You know what I'm saying? What's the ATS? I don't know. Bama fan said, send what to you? You want to join? Who is this? I don't get it. Hey, Ruff, did you pay for your fan funders? Cause you just in here sowing discord. Cause even the people that we had this Miro debate yesterday, and it kind of alluded to the race thing, right? And here's other schools that's dealing with it. I'm just a Bama reporter, okay? There's other schools that's dealing with the same thing, okay? But did you pay for yours? That's all I need to know. Uh-oh. See, y'all see where I get it from. That's I guarantee you. And I say this with pride. I say this with a lot of, not just because it's my family, but me, my pops, my mom. Shoot. Who else bowl in our family? My brother ain't no bowler. He can get hot, but he ain't no bowler. He's so strong. Me, mom, dad, pops, and we'll pick a random fourth. You give us a fourth. We go 4-4. It's hard to beat us, especially if they bring their custom balls. See, okay, this is what's crazy. I bowled with a house ball last week, right? And nephew was there. Not last week before last. Nephew was there. I drop a 212, right? Represent, roll tide, boom, boom, boom. I get my pops ball though. That 205 or 210, whatever I bowled, that's easily a 240, 250, easily. Pops tell him we don't play. We don't play, Pops. We don't play. I like having Pops in. Pops know how to get me up. He know how to get me hype, man. This guy right here. Hey, nah, not you, bro. I know. Hey, AT, I know who you is, bro. He clearly don't know who I am. Clearly, right? Better tell him something. But y'all, we're gonna get up out of here, y'all. We ending the segment. Y'all already know it's the noon hour. We should be shutting it down. Everybody going to lunch. I appreciate y'all for hanging out. And yeah, we're gonna get this thing popping. Yeah, I catch y'all on the next one. Tonight, myself and Kyle will be having the post-practice interviews with the players. We have offense and defensive players available. That's going to be different. So we might have dual camera view going. I don't know how we're going to do that, but hopefully they extend the time of availability. Because if not, that means we only going to get like one question per person. So let's try to get this thing popping. All right, y'all be easy, man. And this shit has been fun. I am Coach Smook of Bama Football on YouTube. Follow me at Coach Smook on all platforms. Coach Smook on all platforms. And with that being said, I'm going to leave y'all with the big old roll tide. Roll. Let's get it, baby. Catch y'all on the next one.